It's still, it still won't hurt for him to come and talk about it. I'm saying,
Good evening,
as far as
sir.
us getting something done, I mean, it's nothing that we can vote on or have done. But
No.
we might
I do not, but
ask
I
something to
spoke
be
to
done.
him, and he is.
I just don't wanna get you, hopes up thinking that we're, we're in charge of it. But we'll be more than glad.
Oh, I did meet him. I met him at the
Do you physically
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
but, yeah, but we welcome, hey, you know, we welcome.
He's still here.
call, or can you do?
Reverend Walker.
Yeah, only if something requires it or something like that.
Okay, so not on a regular basis.
But I try to come once a week
Yeah.
just to check in.
It is 7:03. It is October 13th, 2022. This is our normal monthly town council meeting. I'm calling it to order. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have the pleasure of having Reverend Walker with us this evening. He is going to do our invocation. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you. It's a privilege. Let's look to the Lord in prayer. Our Father, as we come to you tonight in prayer, it's just a privilege to be able to live in Stokesdale. And we believe without a doubt that you led us here almost 30 years ago. And it's certainly been a joy and a privilege to be here. And we're thankful for those that you have raised up in leadership in our city. And we're trusting that you will continue to guide them in every decision that's made, that we can continue to have the environment that we have at the present time. And I pray your blessings on each one. And again, as we said, give them the wisdom needed to make the right decision for our future. And we'll remember to give you the praise. We ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Walker. The next item is a proclamation to declare the month of November to be Family Court Awareness Month. I was asked to do this.
Yes,
yes, sir, I'm
Mayor,
sorry.
we'll put the brakes on you here a second.
Says the
I think we need to review and adopt an agenda before we get into technically the business, including this proclamation. If you would, please.
I will.
Mr. Mayor, in reviewing the agenda, I see that item number 2 is a presentation by Mr. Josh Myers. He's a candidate for office, and I believe Mr. Myers is here. I think it'd be more proper if we allowed Mr. Myers to speak during citizens' comments, and that he not have his own agenda item.
I spoke with him, and he is in agreement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Any further discussion? Proclamation to declare month of November to be Family Court Awareness. What have I done now?
We need to, I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda with the change moving Mr. Myers to the public comment period and the proclamation to just after the agenda.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
No problem.
Am I?
Mr. Rigsby, Mr.
Aye.
Lamb, Mr. Jones,
Aye.
and I am aye. Are we there?
Yep.
Just want to know. I'm new at this, so, you know.
You can only use that excuse for so long, Mike.
Well, I'm hoping it'll go into the next year.
His year's about to end. Yeah.
I'm hoping
Warranty.
it'll go into the next year. Well, anyway. Okay, so now we're down to proclamation to declare the month of November to be Family Court Awareness. Whereas the mission of the Family Court Awareness Month Committee is to increase awareness of the importance of the family court system that prioritizes child safety and acts in the best interest of children. And whereas the mission at the FCAMC is fueled by the desire to create awareness and change in the family court system for the conservatively estimated 58,000 children a year ordered into unsupervised contact with abusive parents, while honoring the hundreds of children who have been reported as murdered during visitation with a dangerous parent. And whereas the mission of the FCA-MC is to increase awareness of the importance of empirically based education and training on domestic violence and child abuse, including emotional, psychological, physical, and sexual abuse, as well as childhood trauma, coercive control, and post-separation abuse for judges and all professionals working on cases within the family court system. And whereas the mission of FCA-MC is to increase awareness on the importance of using scientifically valid, evidence-based treatment programs and services that are proven to, in terms of safety, effectiveness, and therapeutic value. And whereas the mission of the FCA-MC is to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based, peer-reviewed research. Such research is a critical component to making decisions that are truly in the best interests of children. This research includes the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study. Co-principal investigator Vincent Folletti, Kaiser Permanente, CDC, child custody evaluators, beliefs about domestic abuse allegations, principal investigator Daniel Sanders, University of Michigan, sponsored by the National Institute of Justice, and child custody outcomes in cases involving parental alienation and abuse allegations. Principal investigator Joan S. Meyer, GW Law School, sponsored by the National Institute of Justice. And now, therefore, I, Michael E. Crawford, Mayor of the town of Stokesdale, hereby declare the month of November to be Family Court Awareness Month. I encourage all residents to support their local community's efforts to prevent the harm of children in the hands of family members and to honor the value of the lives of children.
Do you know who this organization is?
Dale? Do you know who this organization is?
I mean, it's all, I mean,
Who's the sponsor here?
yeah, I mean, you know,
Who brought it up?
Yeah.
I did.
I mean, do you know about them? I mean, and I know it sounds good and everything, but I don't know these people.
I think we're asking, has this been validated?
Yeah. I mean, we're putting, well, you know.
I honestly have not.
Okay, well, I'm good with it, just
All right.
I don't want to burn up too much of the council's time, but I've been personally involved with a family that is taking care of a child that's in the hospital. You know, long story short, and I don't know all the details, but this child just had this clump of hair removed from their lower intestine. She's about 18 months old, and she was ingesting hair and hair from dolls. Apparently, these two children weren't being fed. So a lot of times, you know, these things are out of sight, out of mind for us everyday citizens, but there's some hellacious things going on out there. And I just thought fit to mention it since I got the picture in my phone.
Well, I know there's bad things going on, but there's also organizations that get money and then don't use it for the purpose that they're stating. And I know they're not asking for any money here, but we just need to know more. When somebody's going to want us to do a proclamation, we just need to know a little bit more about it and make sure that the money's involved that they're making or receiving is going to the proper places. I mean, you know, you've seen it in the news, organizations getting a lot of money and spending it on things that they shouldn't be spending it on. So, I mean, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve this proclamation and some way, somehow, ask Ms. Martin to verify that this is a bona fide organization, just to make sure that there's nothing untold here that we're not aware of. So that would be my motion.
Is there a second?
I don't think we need a motion, do we, the mayor has the right to do a proclamation.
No, he can do
This is
it.
not a resolution.
Yeah.
The mayor can do a proclamation on his own.
Is that right?
It's on our agenda.
Okay, I mean,
Mr. Medlin?
I'll vote if you'd like a motion or a vote.
He can, but y'all can also ratify it if you want to.
But we don't have to.
I don't think
I
you
just
have to.
assumed let him do the
But if
proclamation.
if he's typically, the way this board has always operated, is that it's not, one person doesn't have authority, you know, there's 5 of you. And if there's gonna be a statement coming out of Stokesdale, you kinda want all 5 of you to have approved it. So that's been your demeanor.
Well, if this is gonna be a part of our minutes, then I think we need to vote on it.
Okay, and you've got a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
And Mr. Mayor, you could second it if you wanted to.
I know. I will second it.
And I'll let you know, they do have a website, and there's information out there, tells you who started it, and there's a history that you can read about.
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. We have adopted the agenda. I make a motion that we adopt the minutes from October 14th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Mr. Foy?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make one point here, perhaps for the minutes. I wasn't present at the October 14th, 2021 minutes, and I will be, meeting, and I will be voting nay.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, were you here?
No.
Are you gonna, or do we need to put these minutes off till next month, or?
Call a
If they-
vote.
Because the same situation with Tim that we've been running into.
Should the motion fail, another motion can always be made.
Okay, that's fine.
I've made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I am nay.
Nay?
Nay.
I am aye.
Yeah, that's good.
The minutes for September 8th, 2022, council minutes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we adopt the September 8th, 2022 town council minutes.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. This evening, we have Randy from the Fire Department for our public safety reports. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Randy Southard, Stokesdale Fire Department Deputy Chief. September, as usual, was another busy month for the Stokesdale Fire Department. We had 85 total calls. 37 were medical related, 11 were fire or fire alarm related, 37 were other type calls, which is everything from good intent calls to false alarms, to service calls for anything from a tree down to lifting a patient and helping them get back into bed if necessary, to help EMS. Our reminders this month center around Fire Prevention Week, which is this week, the 100th anniversary of Fire Prevention Week. The theme for the Fire Prevention Week this year was Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. Chief Galden spoke about escape plans a little bit earlier in the year at one of the council meetings, but we would certainly remind folks, fire burns faster than it used to. The materials used in homes and furnishings burn faster. What used to be 5-7 minutes to get out of a house once you heard a smoke alarm, statistically is now down to about 2 minutes. That's not long. To gather up kids, to gather up parents, to gather up whomever you need to get out. So smoke alarms become extremely crucial. We have some batteries at the fire department for anybody that can't afford them. We have some smoke alarms that the county furnishes. If anybody can't afford them, send them our way. We'll help them out and even put them up if need be. So we recommend everybody have working smoke detectors and test them periodically. They're good for about 10 years, and then the manufacturers recommend changing them out. Some of them last longer, some of them don't last that long. So our reminder is hear the alarm and then get out.
Mr. Sellers, I got a couple of questions.
Sure.
I'm curious, in regards to the stats, fires burn faster now than they once did. Is there a source of information that you could point us at where we could educate ourselves about this? Perhaps someone out there might want to buy different furnishings or might
Sure.
want
NFPA.org,
to.
NFPA, National Fire Protective Association.org.
Any idea which
If you go to their website, you can pick lots of different things, and they have some tests with videos of tests they've done to burn furnishings and fake houses, pre-built with what's being used now to show how fast it burns.
That's
But they've got information, and they keep all the statistics.
scary stuff. And the other thing is, can you provide us with a current Stokesdale Fire District budget?
It's available for anybody that wants to come and see it at the station.
Can you provide one to us here at the town?
I'm not authorized to do that. The Board of Directors could, if they so choose, but it's available at the fire station. Anybody wants to come take a look at it.
Okay.
Any further questions for Randy? Randy, thank you
Thanks,
very
Randy.
much. We appreciate it. Right now, we're moving on to the administrative report with our interim town clerk, Ms. Dale Martin.
This month, we had 5 meters installed, 16 applications for transfers of service, 43 meters and applications were put on hold by builders, 85 meters are still in stock, have 9 work orders prepared, 70 811 locates requested, 717 water bills were sent out this week. We have 4, last time you asked about the past due accounts, we have 4 that are active past due accounts, and we still have 26 on the inactive past due accounts. So 4 is pretty good. We are required to send out a quarterly, it's a HubSco report, it's underutilized business, it's a state report, we do that quarterly. That was due October 10th, that's been sent out. Mayor and staff met with Jorge Ortega from the Guilford County Animal Control. He was the Animal Control Director. He wanted to come and introduce himself and explain the different services that they provide to the citizens throughout Guilford County, and talk to us about the possibility of hosting an adoption and a rabies clinic here, maybe in the spring or something. So we'll hear more about that. We also met with, we have a new Guilford County planner. His name's Justin Snyder. He came and introduced himself this week, and we'll be meeting him in November. There is no planning board meeting this month, but we have had something filed for the November meeting. He comes with a great deal of planning experience, both as a planner and a planning director from various cities and counties, and had some good ideas about streamlining our planning processes. So he'll be talking more about that as well. We got the final approval from DEQ for North Ridge subdivision Phase 6. Mr. Wagner and Ms. Thacker attended the American Rescue Plan expert tour in Greensboro that was hosted by the North Carolina League this month. Mr. Wagner also has watered the soccer fields twice daily for the last 2 weeks. Town staff, he went over and picked up some new maps. We have the contamination maps. I have a new map on this side. And while he was there, he also got a new street map. We have that one on this side and then one here in the hallway for the town. We've also asked for them to provide us some new zoning maps. So they're working on those, and we should get those in the near future. We have, last meeting, you asked us to research some Charter of Freeman documents, and Mr. Wagner did that as well. We can get some things from Amazon. Depends on how much money you wanna spend. We can get 24 by 30 size for $25.95. Put my glasses on. $45.95. And then a frame, just a mediocre frame for $50. And we can go up. It depends on how much money you want to spend, but that's about as cheap as we could find. So I don't know if y'all want to discuss that any further, or
I'd like to see the documents you have, but that might be, better we'd review that and then have a public discussion about it.
Are they available laminated?
are they available what?
Laminated?
I don't know. Are they laminated? Let's see.
See the description. I don't think that those are. Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
3mm laminate.
Yeah.
Size is readability. Now, what that means, I don't know. How big? But we'll pursue that.
What's the price on lamination? Does it say?
It's all included in that $45.95.
Okay, so it
price.
comes laminated with a frame?
No, not a frame, but just the document itself.
Okay,
We'll have to do a frame separate.
okay. Anything else?
Let's see. Remind everybody, we have the election will be here in Town Hall on November the 8th. Town Hall will be closed on Friday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. The annual fire inspection was held last week, I think. It was one afternoon last week, I believe. And we passed everything with flying colors. So, and that's all I have.
Reminder, we have a waterworks workshop on the 8th. I'm guessing we're gonna reschedule.
If that's the date for a water workshop, we would.
Okay, and we can take care of that in the next waterworks meeting. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Ms. Martin, can I ask a question? You mentioned Mr. Justin Snyder has started with Guilford County Planning. Does that mean he's going to be representing Stokesdale in the place of Oliver Bass, or will we have two?
Yes, he will be. Oliver's still on staff and will be
Okay.
available, but Mr. Snyder will be our designated planner.
How did we receive that notice? Just a phone call or email, letter?
Yes, I reached out to Oliver to ask if there was anything filed for the October planning board meeting, and he said no, and he said, by the way, and introduced him. And he sent me an email with his contact information, asked various questions about our process, and I just invited him over to come and sit down with us and let's hammer it out. And so,
I'd just like for our minutes to reflect when we changed from Mr. Bass to him, if just.
Anything else? Do we have any planning board report at this point? Don't believe we do. We can handle the events committee, I think, a little bit later. It's an agenda item.
We're going to talk about the parade.
Exactly. And Mr. Rigsby is not with us. He's the only council member that is not, so we're going to pass on the property committee unless someone has something to add.
Jimmy, do you have anything for the property committee?
No, I don't have anything to add. We've just been,
Financials, Ms. Thacker?
I guess that'll reach. Okay, I'm gonna start with the general fund. These numbers are as of September 30th, 2022. Our bank accounts, the ARPA Fidelity account has $725,475. The Bank of Oak Ridge checking money market has $23,295.20. Our total CDRs in the Bank of Oak Ridge are $2,561,563.21. Fidelity Bank, which is our checking with the general fund, is $338,253.43. Petty cash is $150. Our salaries and FICA that are due from, which is the accounts receivable from the water enterprise account, is $599.52. That is for the month of September. Sales tax, which totals from July 1 through September 30th, 2022, is $50.67. The water enterprise reimbursement for the month of September is $10,319.90. And that is for the general fund. No, for the state retirement contribution for the month of September, the town of Stokesdale contributed $794.24, and that is 12.10% of the salaries for the month, the full-time salaries for the month of September. Total year-to-date for this fiscal year is $2,191.63 that the town has contributed. And that's the general fund, and I'll move over to the water. The water enterprise for the Bank of Oak Ridge for the CDARS, and these numbers are also for September 30th, 22, is $500,132.25. Our capital reserve fund is $186,482.25. The Fidelity Water Enterprise checking account, $623,425.04. Our North Carolina Management Fund is $525,992.04. The regular savings account with the water enterprise is $45,054.78. And as you guys requested the last council meeting, we did split up. If you see under the AR water sales, I did split the active and inactive for accounts receivable for the accounts past due, 90 days plus past due. And at the time of September 30th, there was one account, and Pris did print the reports off for me if you're interested in seeing those. And that was $941.97 for the one that was 90 days past due. Inactive accounts were $5,067.62, and that is a total of 27 accounts that total that $5,067.62, and that is 90-plus days past due. The sales tax refund for, from July 1 through September 30th is $270, which makes our account receivable as of September 30th, $27,414.71. Again, just to reiterate, the water reimbursement that is due to the general fund, which is an account payable, is $10,139.90. The payroll due to the general fund, which is Gary's alone, which is our ORC, is $599.52. The water capacity fees for the month of September is $2,250 for the month of September. And that is all that I have for the water enterprise account. I do have one other thing, but are there any questions on the financials before I move forward?
I don't have any, Kim.
No?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Kim, have you heard from Mr. Rouse on if he is on track for the October 31st deadline for the audit?
I have not. I reached out to Jay to confirm, to make sure that they did receive my documents that I sent. I believe it was September the 6th. I sent everything over to them. I have not heard anything. I'm assuming Town Hall has not heard anything.
I think he confirmed that he got it.
Yeah, all we've gotten is that he's confirmed that he got it. I've let him know if he needs anything, let me know. And, which he has everything. He used to come into Town Hall, before last year, but he really liked the fact that everything was pretty much sent to him for him to be able to take care of the majority of it in his office, but he will show up.
Okay, thank you.
When? I have no clue. Okay. On August 26th, I was requested to, I received an email from the mayor to please review the accounting provided to us by the Friends of Stokesdale and report my findings for the next meeting, which was September the 8th. And I totally forgot, it was underneath my file, totally forgot to do that, so I'm gonna do that report now. I have sent out to council a spreadsheet that has the original numbers that, from the Friends of Stokesdale, that were presented to the town of Stokesdale in request for the money. In let me get my dates straight here. I think that was 2000, sorry. $2019 is when that was first presented to the town. The original budget that was requested from the Friends of Stokesdale was $4,532.19. After reviewing the delivered receipts, it is, in my opinion, related to the mural painting and not related to the mural painting. Related to the painting was $2,729.83. Not related to the painting was $1,802.36. I do have all of the supporting documentation. How I came to my opinion on this. And in my review, I did find receipts for T-shirts, music, donuts, food, supplies, and gas for the dedication of the mural. However, this was not in the proposed budget that was presented to the town of Stokesdale in 2019 by the Friends of Stokesdale. Therefore, I am unable to provide that all of the town monies granted in the amount of $4,636 was indeed used for the mural painting. It is, in my opinion, that 58.9% of the town grant was used for the proposed amount and 41.1% of the monies were used outside of the proposed budget presented to the town of Stokesdale. And if council, I do not know if you have the email that I sent to you guys. If you don't, I can run copies of the documentation.
I've got it if they want me to forward it to them right quick.
Does anybody need me to send this to them?
I'd like to have a copy of your worksheet or spreadsheet.
Okay, I sent it in an email, but I will go, you want copies of all of this? All of everything? Yeah. let me
Yeah,
get you-
but it doesn't have to be this instant.
Yeah, I'll get Robbie to go, he'll go grab us some copies of those.
Is there anything else? Kim, anything else?
No, not from my, unless you guys would like to review that, that I sent to you. I believe it was September the 6th, I sent the email to you.
Discussion?
September 5th, excuse me. I sent the email to you.
I'll get the hard copies, Mr. Mayor, and review those, and I guess the rest of council will also.
We're going to move on to citizens' comments. We have with us this evening our Water and Soil Commissioner, I believe is the right title. Am I correct, Josh? Supervisor, okay.
Josh Myers, I'm Vice Chairman of the County Soil and Water Board. I thank you for letting me have a few moments. I am running for re-election, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to bring greetings from the County Board, to provide a little information on the services we provide, since it's been almost 3 years since we've been able to get out into the community. As a bit of background, Soil and Water has been around over 85 years. We have a 5-member board in Guilford County. There are 96 districts across the state. Soil and Water brings together technical experts and private landowners to provide sound conservation practices and leadership to communities to bring voluntary incentive-based conservation programs for agricultural and non-agricultural land. Part of what we do is to leverage financial assistance from local and state government to put them on the ground through a multitude of policies and activities. We have programs such as the Agricultural Water Resource Assistance Program. It's a huge acronym. I won't try to go through that. And that identifies opportunities to increase the water use efficiency and storage, mainly through farm use. We have the North Carolina Agricultural Cost Share Program, which is huge in some of these areas, in which we attempt to help offset costs for our local farmers. You may see this through irrigation systems, local wells. You may see this through center pivots on some of our large practices. And that includes also working through pollution issues that we temporarily try to address without DEQ getting involved. In the city and some of our municipalities or city townships, we deal with the Community Conservation Assistance Program, which is larger than it used to be. We're working through our lobbying efforts through the General Assembly right now. That incentive is non-agricultural water cleanup. We're trying to push our local governments to get more involved in these programs, whether they're cisterns to collect rainwater, whether they are anything from stream remediation, where we may have issues. And these are all available to any form of government. We can hold the contracts ourselves. And the last one is the Voluntary Ag District, which is becoming bigger and bigger for land conservation. We try to promote that. It's obviously voluntary. It asks for 20 acres of farmland, 10 acres of forest land, 5 acres of horticulture. And that basically just is kind of an agreement with our county to commit to preservation. We're working with county commissioners now to try to get that in place, that we have money on the ground. We understand development is important, but we also would like to see sustainability for the land that we have left. And really what I came to speak today is also just to get an awareness of what Soil and Water does. So we have education programs too. We oversee environmental education for Guilford County. We are able to go into the schools to assist teachers with that science work. We do the North Carolina Envirothon. We also are now working with local farmers to adult education with landowner training, and working with easements as well if you have floodplain problems, which I've done quite a bit of work on the Hall River and up through these areas to address the issues. We now have a STRAP program from North Carolina that I will be overseeing as chairman, in which we will try to dredge, and we can work with local forms of government to get resources now. So we'd like to extend that opportunity to work with the town council where there may be needs. The state of North Carolina went from $700,000 in their program budget to $38 million this year through efforts of lobbying through myself and a few other supervisors. So the state is willing to put the money on the ground, but we need to work with townships like yourself. And what we'll do is work with local contractors to come in without a charge. We try to offset that with state revenue to try to clean up these issues. And basically, we're here to serve. We're part of the Department of Agriculture. We work with the Planning Board as well. I sit on as a subset of that board. But basically, I just came to bring greetings, and we have a valuable resource of technicians and educators at disposal, and we are happy to be of service at any time. So that's all I wanted to say to you. And thank
Any
you for
questions of Josh?
Thank you, Mr. Myers.
that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I don't have any citizens' requests, but I am aware that our principal from our local Stokesdale Elementary School would like to speak to us.
Before we get there, are there any other citizens' comments? She's got her own agenda item.
She hasn't?
Yeah, are there any other citizens' comments before we close citizens' comments? Ms. Bennett does have her own agenda item.
Yes, sir.
Am I allowed to speak after Ms. Bennett?
Right now, this is citizens' comments, so if you would, just step to the podium and you may address the council.
We still got old business, but we're cool. He's the Mr. Stiles.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Pro Temp. Thank you, council. Thank you, community members. My name is Michael Stiles. I'm assistant principal at Stokesdale Elementary School. As assistant principal at Stokesdale Elementary School, I'm here to request funds for the deputies for the morning car rider line. As you may know, if you're driving by Stokesdale in the morning on the first week of school, we do have some traffic concerns. As the assistant principal, I am one of the leaders in charge of helping reduce the traffic and making sure that our parents and guardians are getting through the line quickly and safely. Our students are arriving to school safely. So I take great pride in making sure that our morning car rider line is moving smoothly and making sure that our local community members are not being held back from their commute. And what we're asking for is one deputy that the county, that the town sponsors to help our school, our community school, so that we can make sure that our community members are arriving to their workplace or wherever they may be going safely. Once again, I would truly appreciate your help in this matter, and we do thank you for your support throughout the years, and we definitely need your support. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Stiles, do you mind if I ask a question?
Yes, sir, please.
How are you doing this evening, first of all? It's good to see you.
I just ran 9.7 miles, so I'm a little
Tell
sweaty.
you what, you
Show
be careful out there. I've seen you running up and down Eversfield before.
Yeah.
But is the request for one deputy in the morning just that first week of school?
Yeah, and Miss Bennett's going to get into the details.
Okay.
I don't want to steal her thunder,
Sure.
but
I think you might already have.
That's the mayor's fault. He got out of order. Hey, but I'm new.
Hey, you're just new.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's get into some old business. No? Something else?
No, we're good. Just keep going.
You stop me.
No, we're cool. All right, it's
Old business.
the Twitch.
The Twitch, okay. Review and adopt the 2022 to 2023 schedule of fees and charges, currently making edits. You have that in your packet. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2022/23 schedule of fees and charges for the town of Stokesdale.
I'll second it. Do we have any discussion?
Currently making edits. Does that mean we're still, I mean, is it ready? Is it done?
Kim, can you speak to that? Is it done? The schedule of fees?
Yes.
I mean, it says on the agenda, currently making edits, so, I mean, I'm just.
In
Are
the
edits-
packet,
Are
there's
the edits
a
done?
document.
Yeah, you all have talked about this a couple months ago, and so we went back and listened to the tape extensively, and that's what we prepared this with. So, you know, if you still want to make changes, it certainly can make changes if you want, but
Well, I have a question, if I may, to whoever can answer it. In the schedule that I have in front of me, there's no mention of the water system, no tap fees. Well, actually, taps 3 and 4 are here.
I've got a 1-inch
I feel like I
tap.
don't have it all, possibly.
I've got a 1-inch
Yeah,
tap,
we got tap fees right here.
2-inch tap.
That's it right there. You
page.
got.
I think so.
That's that page there.
Yeah, I do.
You looking for something different?
Well, our fee schedule did have a rate for the sale of water for an in-town rate and an out-of-town rate. I don't know exactly how it's worded, but it's missing out of this copy. Mr. Foy, do you have it on yours?
I do not. We need a 3/4-inch tap too.
You want to
apologize, it's
continue
on the
this
back
till
and
we
we
get our
didn't-
paperwork straight, or?
I would say so, yes. So I'll withdraw my second.
All right,
I can't vote for this like it is.
I understand. We'll get it adopted
So,
sometime.
so I'll
We're
make
gonna, we're
I'll
gonna
make
hold,
I'll
we'll
make
hold this over.
Well, I'll make a motion, we continue this to the next regular council meeting,
Okay,
if not sooner.
I'll second.
all right. Any further discussion? Mr. Foy?
Nay.
Mr. Landrith?
Did you want to do something different?
No, I guess I'm just a little frustrated that we are on month 4 and we just can't get this right.
Well,
I
I
was,
mean, do we want to do something tonight?
I
I mean, I'll vote no and we'll fix it if that's what you want to do.
I'm willing to withdraw my motion if y'all want to work on it tonight, or you move it to the end of the meeting or whatever. I'm just conscious of the amount of time this
Well,
will
I'm
take.
nay.
We simply
That
need
way
to
we
reprint it.
we can figure out what's going on.
Reprint it and make copies. We just failed to get the backside of one sheet, so. we can-
Yeah, if it's that easy, I'd rather do that. This is,
It is.
I'm nay then.
Continue didn't pass, so you can just,
well, we haven't voted it out.
Well, I did.
Motion to continue did not pass.
I mean, y'all can go ahead and vote because
Well, I'm a aye. Mayor, you need to vote and we'll have our record straight.
I'm a no.
okay.
Okay.
all right, now let's,
You want to move this to the end of the agenda
That's a good idea.
and let them
We're probably taking
redo the
intermission
packet
too.
and bring it back out?
I like that.
Sounds
Okay.
okay.
So that's called tabling until the,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we table this to the end of the agenda.
I'll second.
Mr. Foy?
Yes.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I'm also aye. New business, presentation by Allison Bennett. She is our principal from Stokesdale Elementary School. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you guys?
We're well.
So just a little bit about me. Obviously, my name is Allison Bennett, and I'm the principal of Stokesdale Elementary. Some of you probably know nothing about me, but a little bit about me is my grandfather was actually born across the road from Stokesdale Elementary. And my family has lived here for many years, and my great-grandfather was the first sheriff of Summerfield. I actually graduated from Northwest High School, just as my parents did before me. And I've grown up in this area all my life, and I'm so privileged to have the opportunity to be the principal of Stokesdale Elementary. So I've come to the town council meeting tonight to ask for help from the Stokesdale Town Council with funding a sheriff deputy for the first week of school for the 2023-2024 school year. I know some of you on the town council do not agree with funding this for our school, and that's okay. But please hear me out before you make a decision for next year. 2018-2019 was the last year Stokesdale Town Council supported Stokesdale Elementary with funds for students. Safety is our top priority at Stokesdale Elementary, and that's why it is so important to me that we have your support next year in order to keep our students, staff, parents, and the community safe. Having the presence of a sheriff for the first 5 days in the AM only allows the parents and community to learn the traffic flow, as well as slowing the traffic down coming from the west and east on Highway 158. As a Stokesdale community, it is all of our responsibility to educate and keep our students safe each and every day. Remember, these are all our children because they are Stokesdale children and our future. Stokesdale children. There are 140 houses being built right back here. I have almost 500 students in my school, and I'm growing. And it concerns me that we're growing and we are landlocked in Stokesdale Elementary because I'm between Highway 68 and Highway 158. And I would hate for any student to come to school and get hurt. So please keep that in mind. I have seen a child and a car almost get T-boned with a parent driving. I have seen 18-wheelers fly down Highway 158 when I'm trying to start my school with almost 500 kids. So please, please, consider it. Thank you for listening and your consideration in funding a sheriff deputy for the first week of school.
How much are you talking about? I mean, how much, what's
Well,
the dollar figure?
So there are 3 tiers for that. There's a tier of $40, tier for $50, and a tier for $60. So it depends on what tier you want to do.
What do I get for $40?
Well, so since law enforcement currently, and this is what I was being told, Mr. Crawford, since law enforcement is short, as you know, there's a shortage for law enforcement just like there is for educators. They usually go for the tier 2, which is the $50, because obviously they make more money. And we would have to compete with Oak Ridge Elementary because that town council pays for a sheriff deputy as well. I was fortunate to have a donation this year for that first week, and I did have a sheriff deputy every day those 5 days, just in the AM, okay? And it was the best thing. Even though some people wouldn't agree, and that deputy made them turn around and go toward the car wash, they didn't agree with it, and that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to agree. But it was the way the sheriff deputy wanted due to safety and to get people off of Highway 158. I have had cars pull over on the side of 158 and put a child over the fence, the chain link fence.
Well, did he lock them up?
When I,
We should have.
No, sir.
when I ask what I get for $40, I mean, am I competing for Oak Ridge? Is that what I'm doing?
Yes, because they're going to pay the
Okay, so if
tier.
I offer $80, I shouldn't have a problem getting a deputy.
I would agree.
Okay, I didn't understand what that was about.
Yeah.
How many hours?
That's a minimum of 3.
Whether
How many do
they
you
have
need them
to.
for?
Just for that AM. So I start at 7 o'clock and I go till my car rider line can finish about, for that first week, about 7:40.
So you
And I'm
need
done.
You need 15 hours.
Huh?
You need 15 hours, is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's,
Yep.
And why don't we need them in the afternoon? I happen to live in Angels Glen, and I can tell you, it's no fun trying to get in this neighborhood in the afternoon when they're trying to pick up kids. So why don't we need them in the afternoon?
Well, in the morning, it takes, especially the first week, they're learning that traffic pattern, especially your kindergarten kids. And kindergarten kids take a little bit time of learning how to get out of the car. They usually don't have their book bag on the back, or they're trying to finish their breakfast, or they need to put their coat on, that type of thing. So it takes them a little bit longer to get out of the car. In the afternoon, we have a system where we're calling names, and that line is just a-flowing.
Okay,
So
I
we're moving
understand.
them on.
Okay, I understand.
so you're talking, you're talking about $900.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think it was that expensive this last year, am I correct?
I think it was a little cheaper, yeah. It was like 8 something.
Now, what's the dates? What's the dates you're talking about?
Well, unfortunately, Gifford County Schools has not approved that calendar yet, so I'm still waiting on that calendar, but it would be right, probably, if I was to say, the last week of August, which is usually the first start of school.
Okay, so you're talking about, okay.
Yes,
So
next
this would
year.
this would be in another budget year for us, so
Yes.
I would suggest too that you come back, we have a budget meetings, and somebody will probably remember to do it. But-
Okay.
But you know, if you come, I mean, we open it up, we have quite a few budget meetings, you know, for people to come in and then come in then, because that would be next year's budget, you know, for us.
Okay.
But, you know, I see where you're coming from. It irritates me. Hey, you're doing a good job, so I'm not.
Well, thank you.
I'm not irritated with nobody at Stokesdale School. Great. My mother went to school there in the 40s and 50s. I went to school there. And I've had children go to, you know, school there, and would have
He might have been the
grandchildren.
guy to drop his kids off on the other side.
Yeah, I would have thrown them right over the fence.
What grade did you
weren't
get?
that guy, were you?
What grade did you drop out, Jim?
But I tell you, two things irritate me about you having to come here. And I'm glad you're here, don't get me wrong. It irritates me that we don't have a sheriff's department to put a sheriff at these schools. Now, I don't want a sheriff here full-time, by no means, but I feel like that, you know, we're taxpayers, we should have a sheriff here. Okay, I don't know what the tax rate is. I know we pay about 55% of our, a little over, to the schools. And the school system should put that in your budget. I don't understand that, why they don't. And I know if they did, you wouldn't be here.
Well,
So I
I'll be honest
understand
with
that.
you.
So when we bang this thing around and jump up and down, it'll be because of Guilford County schools and the sheriff's department. It won't be anything to do with anybody, you know, with you guys. So,
Right, and I'll be honest
no
with you,
means.
I would pay for it out of my budget if I could, but I was cut
I
$9,000.
understand, and I understand, but, you know, but it would be with this, I mean, we couldn't make a vote tonight for it because we gotta wait for the new budget year.
I totally understand.
But just make sure and come up and talk. I mean, we did something the other day. Who knows, if we can't do something, maybe we can pass a hat. We passed a hat on some frames, last month, so, you know,
Well,
something could be figured out,
I'm sure,
or at least voted on. I'm just one person.
I'm sure we can arrive at a good outcome here.
I
Just said, go ahead, my friend.
Well, you know, we don't have a motion on the floor, and I wanted to make one. I want to do something positive here to support our principal. The politics at higher government in Greensboro, you know, they're beyond my understanding sometimes, but I'd like to make a motion that we have a town staff draft a resolution supporting the principal's request to the Guilford County School Board, the Guilford County Commissioners, and the Guilford County Sheriff's Department, requesting the resources to provide a deputy for the first week of school. And that would be my motion.
I'll second that motion.
And if this don't work, you know, we'll consider something else.
Okay.
Any
I really
further?
think they should be paying for it, but, you know, we don't want nobody getting run over.
Absolutely.
I don't want anybody hurt.
No, of course we don't, and it could, you know, it may make a difference. I mean, I'm sure it probably does. But, they should be. I don't know why they're not, but.
Any further discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I'm also aye. We're going to have a resolution to request that the school board and Guilford County basically cover this expense.
Yeah, I want it sent to the Guilford County Sheriff as well. So everybody knows. And we'll work with I'll volunteer to work with the town staff to get this drafted as time permits.
Very good.
And if something don't happen there, then, you know, we start doing budget meetings.
We can always do private
I
funding
think
if
I
we have
remember,
to.
but I'm getting old.
You're not on.
I forget a lot of things. Sometimes I forget to come here, so, you know,
And
be safe before you just come on back.
What grade did he?
And Ms. Bennett, I guess you know this, but this board has had meetings in this building with NCDOT regarding the traffic situation up at that intersection and so forth. We have tried to start the ball rolling with it, and what tends to happen is the Guilford County schools are waiting on NCDOT, and NCDOT is waiting on the Guilford County schools, and you know, this board only has so much power. We don't have the money for the schools goes to the Guilford County Commissioners for them to dispense, and so our powers are limited, but we're probably going to have that conversation again with them sometime in the near future, I imagine. So we have started down that path trying to prompt them to seek a solution.
And so have I, and if you need help with that, I will be happy to provide you. Mike Ritchie was supposed to come tonight, but he has the flu. So, who is in charge of safety and security for Guilford County Schools. So we would be happy to meet with you guys. And we have had that conversation with DOT as well. So anything I can do, please let me know.
Have you talked to Guilford County Schools? They just refuse to do it.
Have they said that they refuse? No, they haven't said they refuse, but you have to remember they have 126 schools. So that's just a conversation that will continue to happen from a principal at Stokesdale Elementary that I will continue to push with them is that they fund it. But like I said, I was cut $9,000 and I was gonna pull it out of my budget, but if I hadn't have been cut.
Yeah, well,
So
nobody-
I'm trying to make it through with paper towels and toilet paper and paper.
Nobody blames you or anything.
Oh, I know.
You know, we just know that big old bond passed and from what we understand, there's not
understand.
a whole lot of money coming this way for it. We're
I understand.
not happy with it. I don't think anybody on this council is, but, you know.
I've got a question.
Sure.
The county appropriated, I think it was $19.2-ish million more this year to Guilford County schools, which is cool. And that's just for operating expenses. And my understanding is teacher salary, for the most part, comes from state funds. Okay, so the county appropriated $19 million more for operating expenses. But you just said you were slashed $9,000 for your operating expenses, while at the same time, your enrollment is increasing. Can you help me understand?
Can I help you?
Can you help me understand the logic behind
I
that?
can help you understand, Mr. Foy.
Okay, thank you.
So, when you have charter schools, if I'm a charter school student, and let's say, for example, I attend Stokesdale Elementary as my first kindergarten class.
Okay.
And then my mom and daddy say, well, I want you to go to the charter school. Well, my ADM money goes to the charter school that Stokesdale got. Well, then my mom and daddy didn't like me going to the charter school. They wanted me to go back to Stokesdale Elementary. Well, that money, according to the state of North Carolina, doesn't come back to Stokesdale Elementary, okay? And so we really can't judge that ADM money until after the 20th day. Does that make sense? So I'm at the 20th day, so I could have more money come my way, but that has not been determined at this time. So I can only tell you that I was cut $9,000 from the budget before the 20th day. Does that make sense?
No, I understand it's based off a per pupil
A projection, yes.
projection,
Yes.
not the actual.
Exactly.
And they may or may not come true up the actual.
I'm gonna get more money most likely, but that
Okay.
has not been determined because my numbers are higher now.
Okay.
The ADM means what in your budget?
Adequate daily membership.
Adequate daily membership. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know, there's a lot of acronyms in education.
Got another question.
Yeah, I hope I can answer it.
It's okay if you can't, but
Okay.
back in April or May, before the bond referendum, I think all the principals were asked to send out, I like to call it a fluff sheet. It was what the bond would deliver, you know, for the students in our town, you know, and that's great. There was roughly, I remember, like $370 million were going to be allocated to all schools, which I'm glad to see the bond money going to all schools. One question a friend of mine asked me, because she thought that this town controlled the funding to the schools, was so Stokesdale has one of four classroom environments, and one of only four classroom environments that does not have HVAC system, and that's the gymnasium. So that's a learning environment, a classroom. I think Sternberger, Sumner, and Pleasant Garden are
There's
the others.
6.
Six?
Six.
All right, well, let's call it 6 then. But my point is, have you gotten any indication from that bond money that you will have HVAC in your gymnasium?
And the answer to that is no.
Okay.
But am I fighting for that? Yes. So, and Mr. Ford, just so you know, when I arrived at Stokesdale Elementary, and Mr. Stiles and Ms. Johnson, Ms. Johnson is a second grade teacher at Stokesdale, a wonderful second grade teacher at Stokesdale, they can tell you there was no air conditioning in that school and no heat. And
School?
yes, and we now have a new compressor. We have a full running HVAC system and heat system. The boilers had a trash bag wrapped around them, and they have all been fixed now.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes, I have a new roof painted on the side facing Highway 158 because it was such in bad shape. And the other side of that old building, well, you have a 1926 building and you have a 1981 building that is facing Highway 158. That 1981 building, that was painted and redone, and the other side facing actually the 2006 building will be painted later on the next coming month. We had to wait for the sun, the heat, to cool off because you could not put men on top of that building with it being metal. They just couldn't stand on it. So that is in the works.
And you have also done some other really cool things, like there's, I know with the, you partnered with the PTA, there's a new playground. Mm-hmm. Now, is the county, do they see the need to have that, and I know a lot of Stokesdale citizens were concerned when the article ran in the paper about the playground being accessible for
And
students.
that's gonna happen next week.
Okay, fantastic. And then more good things is that it's my understanding we're also gonna have a basketball court up there for the kids.
I'm currently working on a quote for that, so I'm
Okay.
getting there.
No, that's fantastic.
It takes time. Plus,
Those
I
are
have
great
six.
things.
I have 6 new widescreen TVs in Stokesdale. I have 2 one each in the cafeteria, 1 each in hallways, because we didn't have any TVs that could show recognitions of staff, students, lunch menu, all kinds of things, and that brings us to the modern age instead of just saying back in the 1990s, 2000s, and so the kids love them.
Great, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
That's all I have. believe it or
Okay.
not.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions?
No, I'm pretty intimidated speaking to the principal anyway, still am.
You always have.
Y'all
have been.
paddle up there like it used to?
Nothing's changed, has it?
My principal, my principal at Summerfield was Jesse Joyce, so that's intimidation.
Oh, yeah.
Who was your grandpa lived across the street?
You really want to know who my granddaddy was?
Yeah.
I bet Randy Souther could tell you.
I couldn't by name, but I can tell you who her mom and dad was because I graduated with her mother.
Oh,
So my granddaddy is James Long.
okay.
Oh, okay,
I'm
cool.
part of the Long family. I'm part of the truckers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep. So been here a long time, and all of them are deceased. So, yep. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you listening to us.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Please, yes, thank you. Okay. We have a consideration of proposal by Mueller Septic Service for $2,646 to install a new rhombus control panel on the town's septic system. Discussion?
You're the property committee. You want
Well,
me
I
to
understand
you
that.
want me-
You're the ones got all these estimates, so
Well, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
you're not gonna
jumping in
hurt
front
you're
of
not
you.
gonna hurt my feelings. I mean, the mayor don't even know I'm on the property committee.
Evidently. I didn't know it had two people.
I was the one that got rooked into doing that to start with.
And like me. Glad you take that.
So go ahead, Tim. Tim, we're probably, just go ahead, Tim. You're not stepping on my toes. And actually, I like to thank Tim for handling a lot of this. When a lot of this went on, I was a little under the weather. And he stepped up and kept us from having to put our muck boots on.
Let me find my paperwork here.
You're still having to recycle that, aren't you? Aren't you having to manually go?
Manually cycle it, yeah, but
Yeah, we
the
gotta fix
town
it.
hall here uses very little water, I discovered.
We gotta fix it, but we're gonna save a lot of money. Unless you just don't want to.
Don't look at me.
We're gonna save a little money, I think.
Okay. I asked Mueller Septic Service for this quote, and when I asked for the quote, I asked him to spec the control panel separately, price it separately, provide the manufacturer's name and the model number. They failed to do so. Staff has contacted them. They still failed to do so. And so that total is $2,646 to install a panel that's unidentified. And that's the proposal dated 9/22 of this year. Then this afternoon, I received a quote from PSI for a panel that's been spec'd using our health department permit. There's a checklist. I have emailed this information to council, and town staff has it. Got it late today, so that's why you didn't have it in advance. But anyhow, the panel is $746. The trouble with it is there's an 8-week lead time required. And so, there's supply chain issues all across our economy. And what concerns me about that is that's not a guarantee that we would get it in 8 weeks, and we have to pay for it in advance. That kind of concerns me a little bit. And then I got one more estimate somewhere in this pile from High Point Precast. And I received that today. Council has a copy of it, staff has a copy. It is dated 10/13/22 for a total of $907.38 for just the controller. And there's identifying information for the specific panel on this. The health department, as I understand it, through a contact that Mr. Wagner made on their own initiative, contacted High Point Precast and had a dialogue with them. And according to Scott at High Point Precast, this meets the specifications that he was provided by the Guilford County Health Department. I probably wouldn't mind seeing that confirmed. I want to make sure we wind up with the right controller no matter what. And so this is kind of technical, so I want to make sure that we have an expert that's assuring us that we're getting the right controller. That still, with these latter two estimates, that leaves us still needing someone to install it if we buy it. What I would like to consider council do is perhaps authorize an amount not to exceed and allow the property committee to refine this and further make a decision and have this work done, provided that both Mr. Landreth and Mr. Rigsby are in agreement, so it doesn't have to come back to council. And so with that said, we've got a total here of $2646. This is the only estimate we have. I'm not sure if the post we have can be recycled, and I do wonder if it shouldn't be a little stronger because of the Z-turn mowers in close proximity. Every time somebody mows back there, there's a risk that we could suffer damage. So I'm just going to pick a number here of $3,200 and make a motion that council pre-approve an expenditure of $3,200 for the controller and the installation.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landreth?
Aye?
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I'm also aye.
And I guess since we're on septic tanks, is this a quote for pumping the septic tank at the park? Is that what this is?
Yes, we've got two, as I understand. You've got the one from Billingsley in your hand, and
Yep.
my understanding is we have another one from Wilson. I don't have it in my,
Yeah, well, I don't have it in my hand because I talked to him over the telephone. He will do it for $700. He said 900, and he came down to 700. He's aware of what size tank it is.
How often?
Huh?
How often?
How often?
just once.
He's gonna just pump it one
Is this
time.
pumping the tank?
Yeah,
Just once.
yeah,
Okay, this is per tank pump.
yeah. I mean, we won't have to do this, it's not been done. I don't know if it's ever been done. We've had the one pumped, for the town hall. That's done, which we had to do that. That was an emergency situation, so.
So, I generally like to have a piece of paper in front of me that's with a, letterhead, quote, date on it. You feel like we can stretch out there and approve this and you get it after the fact.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
you know, I've dealt with him plenty of times, and,
yeah, I don't want him to just go pump it and send us the bill. I would like to
well, if
be
he
sure he
does,
sends a
if he
quote.
does, he won't get the $700.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
And this is Wilson, am I right?
Yeah.
I just want to
I'll get it on a piece of paper
I just
before
want to be
before he shows up.
I want to be careful how we conduct the town's business, and Ms. Thacker has to be able to provide the pre-audit certification stamp.
Yeah.
And that's kind of technical, and
I mean, if you want to
Requires-
wait, we can wait. I mean, it's not overflowing, and I mean, it's something that needs to be done.
well, if you make the
I
motion
just
to,
had talk, I'll make a motion that we, use Wilson at $700 to pump the park septic system,
this
septic tank.
septic tank, and he is aware that the capacity is somewhere around 3,450 or something like that.
He's around 3,000, so if it's 3,450, I mean,
I can't remember the exact number, but it's a large tank.
right, well,
So,
he's aware. Like I say, he said $900, and then we talked a little bit, and he did $700. So.
well, if that's your motion, I'll second it with the provision that you receive this information in the
Before
form
we
of a
do it.
quote before he does the
That's
work.
fine. I can do that.
Any further discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye,
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye.
that may be enough savings to, well,
Let's talk Christmas parade.
Right, let's do that. It's that time of year again. The big day is Saturday, December the 10th, 2 p.m. The parade will start. Put this on the agenda, one, just to get it out there, to remind everybody, our wonderful parade is coming up amongst us pretty soon. But I also am going to request for a $5,000 spending authority with our largest expenses normally each year, of course, the deputy coverages. I believe we get 7 deputies, and we talked about the cost of those earlier, or that was referenced in advertising the parade in the paper, as that is part of recognition for our sponsors that we put their names out in the Observer. So in any additional decoration that we may find that we need. If you look in your minutes, the 2021 minutes we approved tonight from October, and I made the same request to oversee the parade budget with the $5,000 spending authority. I believe our community budget line items, community events is $7,500, so the money's in the budget.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll word it that way.
I'll second the motion. Do we have any discussion?
Do you feel like we have enough warm bodies to pull off the planning and execution of the parade, Mr. Foy?
I think we do. And the town's lucky to have 2 guys that are really mechanically inclined to put together the sleigh and that are real strong and put out the barrels like that with Tim and Jimmy. So
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mr. Medlin and Mr. Wagner.
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not. So with that, I feel very confident.
All right.
Mr. Foy?
Aye, sorry.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I'm also aye. Be sure you put it on your calendar, Mr. Wagner, it's 12:10. Okay? You might want to start on 12:09, but anyway. Consideration of proposal by David Price, $1,000 for the installation and removal of Christmas banners. Discussion?
Are we sure we have his insurance information updated and correct?
Yes, we do.
He is, working in a
And this is-
high-risk environment on the road with a bucket truck.
And this is for putting them up and taking them down, right?
It is. It's for the
That's what it says.
installation and removal, and it's the same price we paid last year.
Okay, because we did that one year, I think it's the first year we was here, we did a price and it wasn't, we had to pay it again.
I remember that.
But that's good, okay, good enough.
Any further discussion? I make a motion that we do accept David Price's bid for the installation and removal of the Christmas banners.
If you would identify his proposal by date and amount in the motion, I will second it, Mr.
I'm not
Crawford.
sure what date he's gonna put them up. Do we have a date for that?
No, the date in his proposal in his email, I believe it is.
I don't have it. Do you have it?
I'm digging. Let's see here.
To what?
Is it in here?
October 5th.
Nice.
It's October 5th.
He's gonna,
It's October
that's the,
5th.
that's the date of the proposal.
Right.
When does he propose to put them up?
We don't know. don't
I
know
wasn't
when.
asking for that, I just want his,
The proposal,
the operative document here identifiable in the town's
Before
record.
Christmas and then after Christmas, take them down.
Typically before Thanksgiving.
Okay, the bid is,
Leave them up and change the name to Christmas. Save us $1,000. We could give it to the school to get a policeman.
the bid date is October the 5th, 2022. Are we covered?
He's gonna get you your money.
Yes, no?
Mr. Mayor, you have to put up with a lot, don't you? It's October 5th, 2022, and the amount we're spending is $1,000.
That was the motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am aye. Adoption of the 2022 Coronavirus State and Local Physical Recovery Refunds Records, Schedule, and Frequently Asked Questions. The state has already withdrawn this or has,
The North Carolina State Division of Archives and History, they are the ones that publish our records retention schedules, and they have recommended this addition to the records retention schedule in lieu of the ARP funds on how those records are to be kept, how long they're to be retained, when they can be destroyed, and so forth. And that's what this document is.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we adopt the 2022 Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund Record Schedule, as well as the frequently asked document.
I'll second.
any discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
I'm aye.
And I am also aye. Consideration of budget for deputy clerks' attendance at the Clerks Certification Institute for 2023 to 2024. Do we have the budget in our packet?
You all have indicated that you do want Mr. Wagner to be a certified municipal clerk. So he has provided you with a budget. He has already registered for the new clerk school, which will take place November 16th through the 18th in Research Triangle Park. And that is just that's the first step of becoming a certified clerk.
Is that a one-day event?
That is a 3-day event.
Okay. Do we have the budget in here? Is it,
We do,
That's-
it's the last document.
Yeah, he's already been registered for that class.
yeah, okay.
The budget you see in front of you is for the Clerks Certification Institute. That is a 4-week course through the North Carolina UNC School of Government. It's for a week in February, a week in June, a week in September, or the end of August, 1st of September, and then a week in October.
If my memory serves correctly, Kim, we already have this in the budget, do we not?
No, September class and October for next year would go into
Next year's.
budget. However, we do have enough to cover, he's already registered, and that was $560, I believe it was. And that is in the budget. We've got $5,000 in the budget, for education. And we've probably got around 4,400 left. So we've got enough in there to cover the 1607 for the, February and June class.
It's designed so you can spread the cost over 2 budget years.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I told you wrong. It's is 3215, but it is in the budget.
I make a motion that we adopt the deputy clerk's attendance at the Clerk Certification Institute for 2023 and 2024.
I will second that motion. However, I do want to change to this document or propose an amendment thereto. The mileage is being calculated from Rural Hall, and that may be perfectly logical to the board, I don't know, but I think it needs to be calculated from the town hall here, just to be fair to our citizens that are paying the bill.
Well, is he coming to the town hall? I mean,
Well, this is his place of work. I expect him to get here without our citizens compensating him for mileage. So that's my logic, nothing against Mr. Wagner personally here. It's just an observation I see here. For that rare citizen that may ask me why I paid mileage for him to travel from Rural Hall versus his place of work. Mr. Mayor, do you accept my amendment?
I do. Is there any objection?
Well,
Any discussion?
That would, the motion, voting on the motion would require the change to be made.
Okay. Any further discussion?
The motion had 2024 in it. I think we just need to vote for 2023, FY '23. I would suggest that we make a motion to send Robbie to the Clerk Certification Institute at UNC with a spending authority of $3,300.
You want to vote on the first motion, and then I'll second your motion. We'll vote again to restrict that to this budget year, and we'll make another vote for the next budget year. I agree with your logic.
we can't vote on the next budget year, can we?
No, what I'm saying is we'll split this
Right.
and vote on this, on the portion coming out of the next budget later. I think that's what Mr. Foy's doing, aren't you?
I am, yes, sir.
May I add a comment? We do have to pay for everything up front, but we can split it. But understand that if, he registers for the class, we would be obligated next budget year to fund the rest of it if he goes and attends the class. There are multiple scholarship opportunities through the local government, federal credit union, the school of government, North Carolina Association of Municipal Clerks, International Municipal Clerks Association, all offer scholarships. And we will apply for every one. But they do require we pay for it up front, and they reimburse the town for any scholarship awards that they might give us.
So the town would have to pay for section 1, 2, 3, and 4 in advance.
No, you can pay for 1 and 2, but it's gonna be assumed that he'll attend 3 and 4. And you can wait till after July 1st to pay for the other portion. If he doesn't attend, you can only miss, I think it's 2 classes, not 2 weeks, 2 classes, and he won't graduate. But I don't see that as an issue anyway, but, it's like a college tuition. It is a college tuition. You're obligated for the whole amount, but you are allowed to.
Glad they didn't have that
split it
rule when
over
I was
2
in
years.
school.
I'm worried about getting a big education there and him taking off somewhere.
Okay, so you're basically saying we're gonna commit to this $6,400, whether we do it in this year or next year. I mean, it's an item that's gonna come up in next year's budget.
That's correct.
Mr.
You
Mayor,
can delay the second portion till after July 1st.
Okay,
But if we sign him up and he's accepted, he will be accepted, then you are obligated for the full amount. It's just like I said, it's a college course. So you could just have the opportunity to split it in half. But, I'm hoping, I have my fingers crossed that he will be awarded a scholarship, and several of these, not all of them, but several of them pay for the full amount, the $3,200. I was very fortunate to get mine from the local government federal credit union when I applied back in 2002. And they will pay for the full amount if he gets it. He is a member of that credit union, and we will definitely apply for all of these
Okay, cool.
and hopefully get some money back, but I
Okay,
can't
somebody help
promise.
me out. Where do we stand? Looks like we've got two motions on the floor.
We can't have two motions on the floor at the same time. You make.
Looks like it.
Well, I don't, we've, in discussion, we've talked about making another motion. You made a motion. I seconded that motion.
With an amendment.
With an amendment, provided you accepted it.
I did.
You did so, and that amendment was regarding where the mileage calculation started from, that being Stokesdale versus Rural Hall. And I think your motion was to approve the estimated total cost of $64.30. Is that basically what you did?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm ready to vote, and if we need to make another motion later, we'll do that.
I'd like to withdraw my motion.
I'll make a motion that the town sends Robbie to the Municipal Clerks Certification Institute, and the town pay up to $3,300 for the FY '23 year. And Robbie, if you could also be sure that you are including mileage from Town Hall to Chapel Hill and back.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion?
Jimmy?
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye.
Need to come back to the good schedule.
We do, okay. We're going to go back to the old business with review and adopt the 2022 to 2023 schedule of fees and charges. Currently making edits.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the FY '23 fee schedule for the town of Stokesdale. It's perfect.
Second? Oh, you're not done.
No, just with they passed back out the second time, it's perfect.
All right, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I would ask for a delay here while I get it in my hand and just glance over it, if I may.
You have it?
In regards to the non-resident water usage, I wonder if we don't need to get a number down in black and white instead of the 130%. Does anybody have a calculator in front of them that can tell me what that is? Oh, thank you. May require I might take my shoes off here.
Time out. We should actually, in my opinion, remove this from the fees because council has not voted and approved a non-resident water fee yet.
Council has not voted to, that's what we would be doing. You want to strike it from the fee schedule?
I do, because
I think we agreed in a water workshop meeting, we went through this document line by line with every council member making comments and proposing changes. And at the end of that conversation, we voted to approve this document with the changes.
I don't remember that, and I would have charged more.
Do you have a number in mind right now?
I think it's worthy of a discussion for the November agenda.
Well, can we approve this and then
We can always, we
we
can raise it.
can double back and we can add something to it, so at least we'll have something done?
This can be amended at any time. It's
I
not
mean,
like
it's-
you're
yeah,
setting a
month-
tax rate or anything.
A month isn't gonna kill us to have it at 130%. And then we can come back and do it next month.
Derek, is your concern the rate or whether council has authorized a different fee schedule for non-residents?
Council would authorize it with this vote technically.
Right.
I envision it as being more of an open discussion item, and also more than 30%. I don't have a number that I would suggest. To clarify, this is if we have any water systems outside of the, water customers outside of the Stokesdale jurisdiction, this means they would pay more.
Well, according to my math here, that rate would be $8.71 per thousand. And I agree, that's probably the cheapest out of jurisdiction rate in the state. But given we hadn't been doing anything, it's a step forward in my view. But
It's
if-
definitely a
but-
step forward.
But I mean, if you think we need to.
No, I'm good for a step forward. This, and then another step forward after that, but.
So you can request that it be, you revisit this at the next agenda.
Yeah, I'll just put it as an agenda item for November. I've
Yeah.
got some data from 313 different municipalities in the town that charge more. And to Tim's point, this is,
Could we leave it in there and just simply say
sure,
reviewed?
I've got the motion to adopt this bad boy, so we're good.
Well, what I'm saying is, instead of saying 130%, just say something to the effect, reviewed each situation separately or something.
Ooh,
No?
In other words, if we do this
Leave it.
tonight, they're gonna have to fix it with the water schedule. Well, do we have any customers yet that's hooked up?
We do that are hooked up. I don't know if they're using anything but construction water right now.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, if we pass it, then if there is anybody, then you gotta fix it, and then we'll have to fix it again, you know, when you change. I mean, we can do that, but
Right.
whatever y'all wanna do.
I'm good. It's a start.
Okay, it stays in at 871, is that what we're saying here?
If your math is correct.
You wanna check me?
No, sir.
You know, if you wanna do something like that, if you don't have those hookups, it'd be better to get it done before the people start hooking up, cause they'll get a big increase.
I'm, as so often is the case, I'm forced to agree with Mr. Landers. The sooner the better that we have set a rate for non-resident water.
So we're going with what we got, and then put this on the agenda for next month, the rate increase?
No. We can do both.
All right, who made the motion to approve the rate sheet?
I
That
did.
was
Derek.
okay, and I seconded it with the provision that we
Take a look at the.
change that to 871 per thousand. And if council revisits this, then we can raise it or lower it, but that's what it would be, effective immediately.
Yeah. My proposal next month will also include an increase in the water customer service fee for out of jurisdiction customers.
To your point earlier, we have been working on this and, you know, we don't want to continue it, don't want to put it off another month. And I think we need to get there too before any further time passes. The town's required to have a schedule of
Right.
fees out of state, so.
All right, well, we'll have one after we vote on it.
Any further discussion? Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landers?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. We're open for citizens' comments. Is there anyone who'd like to comment? Yes, ma'am. Please step up to the podium.
First, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Stokesdale Elementary. My name is LaToya Johnson. I am a second grade teacher there, and I have been at Stokesdale now 20 years, and I absolutely love what I do. Thank you, thank you. I love this community. I live in Greensboro in the city limits, but I love driving to Stokesdale every day. I love the staff, I love the town itself, and the people that I've come to know over the past 20 years in Stokesdale. So I'm speaking on behalf of my principal, Allison Bennett, as well, on the safety of our students. And what I want the community to see is that Stokesdale, we're really about that community involvement and the commuters. We're seeing how they are really having a hard time getting through that traffic, that car rider line traffic in the morning. And we want to show them that we're really trying our best to provide efforts or ways to help them get to work and help them get their own children to school. And having that deputy will definitely show the community that we are we're doing our best, we're trying to work with everybody, and just really wanting to keep our community safe. It's all about the safety of our students, as well as supporting those, the citizens, the people of Stokesdale as well. So please consider the needs of our babies over there and what we're really needing at Stokesdale Elementary School. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let me ask a personal question.
Sure,
Do you own your home in Greensboro?
I do.
If you move out here, you can save half your property tax.
Yes, I can,
They'll
yes.
just deputize you and pay you to do it, and then you can pay some of your property taxes.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
well, I would have to speak with my principal, Mrs. Bennett, on that one, and I don't know, but I think I'll be better off outside that classroom door greeting those students in the morning as they come in that door, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to have make a comment to the council? All right, we've got a close, I move that we go into closed session for discussion of attorney-client matters and possible acquisition of land in accordance with NC General Statutes 143 to 318.11. Mr. Foy and I will have to recuse ourselves, I'm thinking.
Well, let's,
At some point in time, we also need to amend that motion that we'll discuss personnel.
And we're going to discuss personnel? Okay. Do I have a second?
let's do the personnel first, and then we'll do the,
Acquisition?
yeah, we'll do that second, in case y'all do have to, so we ain't going in and out.
Okay, so first off, we'll do the closed session for personnel. That's the amendment.
And then after that,
We'll determine whether we need to
discuss.
recuse ourselves.
yep.
Okay.
If we
Any
do,
further
I'll
dis-
roll back out here.
Any further discussion?
I need a second.
Second.
Aye.
Mr. Foy is aye.
Aye.
Mr. Landrith is aye. Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye. Folks, we greatly appreciate, anyone wants to stay, you're more than welcome, but we are going to go into a closed session. We do appreciate you coming, always, always. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
I know. I'll figure out what's going on. So, thanks.
I just want to introduce myself. My name is Rachel. I'm Derek's wife. And this is our son, Marshall. Oh, man. Heard great things about you. Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
We're gonna do personnel first. No. Then you're gonna go with, you better go with.
Thank you so much.
It's late every night this week, so I know. Breathe, they're gonna get up, walk around.
Is it 7 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
7.
As far as I know.
Howdy, howdy.
Really?
I was gonna say, I don't know whether the government will change the rate on the gasoline, but just keep that in mind.
Next year,
'cause we
that's
know-
right.
What are you doing?
It's changed twice this year. It went up, it was the first part of the year, the second part of the year, so I guarantee after December it'll go up again. Or to change,
Well, yeah.
go up or
Go up
down.
or- See, it come down.
Yeah, it come
Went up
down.
to 62 and gas has come down, all it's creeping back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my fear.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't, it wasn't in his agenda.
And see, when I did Rural Hall, I just did it from home, cause in Google Maps, it was like, where from, and I just clicked home.
Well, but it's not far.
I
You did do it from here,
From
and it's
here and
like,
there. Yeah.
if that much difference.
I can fix it, ain't no problem, I can fix that, and just put town hall somewhere, I wanna change one word. And the amount.
Yeah, well, Stokes.
That's true, not Rural Hall, Town Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got my email yesterday with the application.
Got it, yep, I got it.
And, and I saw that already got copied on the gasoline.
Is she? She's very.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't
the
that,
planning board.
doesn't have to be approved, doesn't have to go to them?
It will, yes,
I
sir,
brought
yeah.
it to my head, so somebody would add it. I know if y'all, anybody had talked about it, maybe wanna add
So,
it to the
yeah,
agenda.
it's not like I just thought
So
of it.
your,
Well, I mean, I knew, you know, they knew behind
your
it, they were
position,
ready.
is-
Oh,
I
I'm sure
think this will be,
they
this
didn't
will
do it
change.
yesterday.
Your
Well,
position
y'all
is
didn't do
soil
it.
and water council.
So I had it with me, but
That is not a full-time.
we'll get somebody to put it on this.
Okay. And that's why you have to run, well, there's a.
Well, there is one office
Okay.
position. If there's not, they can't do it.
Okay.
Right.
But, yeah. Martin Nadell resigned, right? Anyway. All right.
All right, y'all enjoy your day of peace and quiet.
We'll do it, that's right. That's right. We'll try, we usually have about one visitor on Friday, and that's usually, Cheese. Seth, he's a fireman up there, it's Stokesdale.
Oh, yeah?
And he'll bring his dog up here and say, hey, that's about it. Usually on Friday morning.
All right, y'all enjoy.
All right, we'll do it,
In
sounds
case
good.
nobody else ever tells you, thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for your friendship. Y'all have adopted me, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you very much for putting up with us.
All righty.
Have a good night. All right, we'll see if you need anything, give us a call.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, the phone still work. I just
Phone
can't
still
get
work,
in.
that's right. That's right. We'll see, we'll pick it up.
That's right.
All right, see ya. Have a good week. You too.
Bye, T, it's good to see you.
Lay this up there if it wants to. They didn't take, nobody took the recorder. Well, Tom will have to write the minutes up anyway.
Chris is all over.
Huh?
I said, Chris is worried.
She's worried.
She said, I might get fired. And she said, is that, are they meeting by personnel? I said, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm making a list of stuff that, for us to follow up on, just like actions to take, so I'm gonna verify that family court notice month.
Oh, no, see,
So I'm pretty sure it's a real thing. It says it in the email, but I'll double check. I mean, because Jimmy's got a point. These are not legit, no sense in doing it, but we've already done it.
The mayor, he'll get that request
Yeah.
constant.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And you can have 4 or 5 every meeting if you wanna do that.
That's right.
You just need to decide what you're gonna
Yeah,
do.
if they're gonna do it. That makes sense. I told Jimmy that I would look into it, because, you know, we don't know, I don't know anything about it, other than they emailed and asked us to adopt it, so it's, he signed it. But I did look, I pulled up the
Because a
website.
lot of municipalities will just do what's pertinent to their
Yeah,
community.
their town.
there, I mean, but Stokesdale's so small, we don't have a United Way, we don't have a, you know, any of these agencies. There may not be a real need, but there may be. So, just, whatever he, you know, and he does have the authority. I mean, they can chime in, but he has the authority to issue whatever he wants.
Gotcha, and sometimes
I'll
those
check it
judgment
out,
come
and I'll email you if I can find out a little bit more about it. And that resolution, that's gonna be for us to pay or Guilford County?
For Guilford County to pay.
Okay.
They support or request that Guilford County pay for that.
Gotcha.
I'll have to-
And I see Jimmy brought that point up before, and I agree with Jimmy. Now, if we charge town tax, that'd be double dipping, because we're paying a county deputy that's already getting paid by tax dollars. Because there's no tax here, we're not doing that, but still paying them,
It
it's
is,
crazy.
but it is the responsibility of the sheriff's department or the school system. The town doesn't have
We don't have any money to
any
pay.
responsibility for the school system.
But I definitely want to double dip in the taxes.
What I understand is Stokesdale almost feels like it's left out.
Because it's so small.
If we could put it on the listserv, and see if anybody's getting something that's similar.
Do they not have SROs in all schools anymore? Someone on SROs that do traffic.
Well, I think, only, it's either middle school.
Does Stokesdale Elementary got a SRO?
They don't do, it's just middle school and high school.
That's crazy.
We're fortunate that we don't have, you know, a lot of anything going on up there.
Because everywhere, I mean, it happens, whenever I was, you know, in Winston, they had gangs, they would go in and verify fourth graders, and they were verified gang members. I mean, it happens. We went to, whatever this, my middle school, or high school that Mount Tabor goes to. We went to that school, and there was like 2 kids in there who were verified gang members in the fourth grade. Tattoos and all. Their brothers give them tattoos. It's crazy. So it happens. I mean, it happens little. Their brothers do it, their daddies do it, they see it, and they want to do it.
They used to have the DARE program
Yeah.
up there, the state or the sheriff department, whatever. So
They don't do that anymore either.
when my boys, let's see, JP, I remember Brian, my youngest one, I think DARE was still in school when he was there. He's 28 now.
I had it when I was in school.
But now,
That's insane. And they still do it because Stokes County schools do it. I see it all the time. The sheriff deputy that does it, that's all he does. He's like community oriented. He drives around a red Camaro with air down the side. He goes to all elementary schools. It's crazy.
He wants projects done, but
Yep.
There's a lot of ways to cut money. I don't think that's one I'd cut. School and drugs. I don't think I'd cut back on children and fighting
it's
drugs.
like Jimmy was saying, in DARE, you know, this big bond, but it's like,
What was the point of that?
They won't get their fund, their bond, it'll be good
that
either.
principal right there would be pushing to get West. See, I just got hired by her up there as a teacher assistant for the EC. And she pushed to get that position. They called me texted me while I was at the beach about subbing in that position. So I said yes, so, you know, then it was offered to me when she got approved to have it. It didn't have to come out of her budget either, you know. So it's because we have a handicapped child that's in a wheelchair.
And if you had not done that,
And you can't even get her up underneath the desk with the wheelchair. Now, if they're sitting, some places have tables, you know, you can get the wheelchair up under that. But the desk is like you have to go in like halfway, but it's like going to the playground, nothing's accessible for her to, out on the playground.
I know in Germantown, where I went, Germantown's a really small school. I think my 5th grade class had 25 kids total. And it's small. And I remember to get in the gymnasium, she had to go outside, around the gym, and in the doors. She couldn't go through the building. If it was cold, raining, snowing, it didn't matter, she had to go all the way around.
And see, and I'm like more one-on-one with the little girl in the wheelchair, which I work with the other EC kids too. But when we go outside, we go out of the school, they get to go down the steps, go right to the playground. We have to go down
Zigzag.
behind the gym, go around beside the gym and go out that way. Well, yesterday we were out there and it started raining. So here we are. I had a hood on my little jacket, but, you know, it wasn't pouring down rain, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Shouldn't
they
be that
did
hard.
build this little street, they dedicated to it, it says Yanelli Lane, and there's a swing set that you can put the wheelchair on for it. But the ramp going down there, and the parent had done this,
Wood, ain't it?
it's all warped.
Oh, it's no wood.
Not unless you're strong and can lift up the wheelchair, you know, which, even if I let it lean back just a little bit, even though it's got a stopper wheel on the back, you know, it still startles her, which I play around with her a lot.
This school have a very strong, it's not called a PTA anymore, what's it called now?
PTO.
PTO, Parent Teacher Organization. They have a very strong one.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I mean, I don't really, Foy's wife, Rachel, was big in the PTA. It was PT, was it still PTO? It was PTO last year, was the first year it went into PTO, I think. Cause I've been up at that school, the black lady that was here, Latoya. I worked with her in ACES for 18 years. Latoya, when she left ACES to become a second grade teacher, it killed me. I was like, I can't do it. And so I resigned, retired from ACES last year. LATOYA.
Johnson.
Johnson.
Now, what is ACES? Is that?
After School Care Enrichment Services, which the school, it's funded by itself, you know.
Yeah.
The school doesn't have to give it any money. The Guilford County Schools doesn't give it any money. It's completely, you know, it's like the daycare type rules, but it's, we get paid by Guilford County Schools, or they got paid by Guilford County Schools, not me anymore. Because I'm not doing it, because it's, it just got to be at where it was. Mm-mm. So I said, I'm out of here, I'm done. I couldn't collect retirement because I was only part-time, but now I'm full-time. So I'm working toward a retirement now.
My sister
Do that full-time and go do hair afterwards.
My sister was a teacher, she was at Davidson County for a long time, and then she went to Coronado. She was there until she retired in 2012, 11, 12, something like that. She's small, like we are, she was middle school, 7th grade.
You couldn't pay me to work at middle school. Just cause it's scary, you know, the kids. I mean, you got some kids that have behavioral problems and, you know, lose control, but there's not any students there that I'd be afraid of, you know, at Stokesdale. There's one big 5th grader, but he's a teddy bear, you know, but he's.
It's a different world.
I don't know, you know, it's just like, you know, your kids now talking about. It's great, guys. There wasn't enough of us in school to have a clique. You had a clique, that was the whole class. I mean, even when I graduated, there's only 100 and some of us that graduated together, and we knew everybody, and we were all just about kin. You couldn't date anybody in school with because you were late.
That's like out here at Stokesdale, you better watch who you talk about, because they're gonna be related to somebody here.
That's right. That was one of the first questions Tim asked me before I started here. He said, are you related to anybody in Stokesdale? I said, you got any Wagners I don't know about? Because I don't know any. I don't think I'm kin to anybody up here.
Oh, Tim.
I don't know of any. I've got one cousin I think lives in Stokesdale, but I don't know if it's inside the woods or not.
He may pop up here to meet him one night, who knows?
That's right, exactly.
Don't ever know.
That's right. Now, Jimmy, he said that his family's been here forever. Was it the Landreths or was it Mama's side?
The Landers actually lived like right in Rockingham County.
Okay.
But he was born and raised right down here on 68 where we live now.
Okay, gotcha. And was that his mama's family's land at one time or something?
Yeah.
What was their name?
Lester.
Lester, okay. Gotcha. Well, now I've seen his.
Because the house that his grandma grew up in, the Landreth, They just tore it down over here off of Sullivan Road,
Oh,
because of some development or something's going up over there.
The old post office at one time, right? What, or it was a general store?
I don't know.
Somebody came in here complaining about that. It was, it's the fellow that built the bookshelves. He's on the planning board. Ron Southern. He came in and said, why did they tear that house down? And he said where it was at and all that. And I said, I had no
Yeah, they
idea.
grew up in one, well, his grandma grew up, well, they were married, his grandma and grandpa, when they were married, lived in one, the big white house, but then they moved to the smaller white house.
Afterwards.
Yeah, but they've already, I don't know if it's completely torn down, but we saw pictures from his cousin where they, you know, the siding and all that was gone. Yeah, he's lived here all of his life.
Yeah. And Tim too, right? Tim as well. Did Tim grow up in that old house right there after you get past the old Byright on the left?
I don't know.
It's kind of
I
sits
know it's
sideways.
family land, but I don't know. Jimmy could tell you. Jimmy's known him forever.
Mhm.
I feel like I have. Phone rings, it's either Tim or Derek.
I didn't know that was Derek's wife. I was glad. to
Yeah,
know her.
Rachel.
Yeah, that's great. And his son.
When you come in here, I recognize her.
I had no
Seen her
idea.
twice, maybe she's out somewhere.
Nice as can be.
She's very sweet, very sweet.
And I knew Derek had a son, but I didn't realize he was that old. I mean, I thought. he
Yeah,
had a
sixth
baby.
grade. Yeah, he just,
I thought he had a baby.
I don't know if he's 11 or 12. He just started sixth grade this year.
Now, what is the middle school around here? Is it Northwest Guilford Middle? Is that what that's called? Or- Okay, where's that at?
Right next door to Northwest High School,
Okay,
Northwest School Road.
okay, gotcha. I do know where that's at. I know where the high school is. I've only ever seen it from an aerial footage.
If you go down Bunch Road and you get on Northwest High School Road, the middle school's the first school, and then the second one is the high school.
Okay, that makes sense, because I remember looking and seeing two fields, and I thought, oh, that must just be a practice field or something. But I guess that was the middle school field, and then on the other.
Then they
was
built
high
the new northern to take some away from,
Yeah.
but then it's repopulated again, so there's like so many.
That's just, they were just talking about that in the water workshop, I think. We're talking about schools have always been reactive. You build a school and it's already full before it's ever even built. And then as soon as, they don't plan. Stokes County is doing something crazy. They're talking now about doing away, we've got South Stokes, West Stokes, and North Stokes. They wanna do away with it and do a Stokes County school, just one, and put it in the middle of the county, which is, they consider Danbury. I'd be mad if I had to drive from Germantown to Danbury. It's like going to Hanging Rock. That's one of the worst places to go.
Big school.
It'd be huge. It'd be huge. I don't know, there's only, I bet there's not 500 kids at North Stokes High School total.
See, I went to Eastford High, and we had 780 kids
In your
in our
class?
class.
East is big.
Looks like right now, Stokesdale, they got 3 fifth grade classes, and I think there's 30, at least 30 in each class.
I think we had 2 fifth grade classes at Germantown. I don't think there was maybe 15 of us in each class. I want to say it was like 30 of us, 25, 30.
Usually there's 4 fifth grade classes. You know, I'm surprised they didn't try to go ahead and get another one in because of the numbers, because of fourth grade, there's 3 fourth grade classes.
I can feel the frustration in the conversation. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how we do it.
4 third grade classes.
Our own plan. You know, and I understand these things.
4 second grade classes also.
Third grade's that year, they start EMGs, the less, are there less students in those classes, that's why
There's probably, I know in our fourth grade class, the homeroom class I go to with my little girl, there's 23 or 24 in her class now.
I'm often in meetings.
And it's like what she was talking about, with several kids have come back that went to the
Charter schools.
charter schools have come back. And so it's like that money, okay, where's that money coming back?
That's right.
You know,
Them charter schools aren't cheap either. To send a kid to them charter schools.
it don't cost nothing to send them. They get to go for free, but it's, it's like a lottery as far as getting in.
Oh, getting in. What was the schools that cost them? There's some schools like I
Oh,
know.
you're talking about like the private schools,
Yeah,
like
okay.
Oak Level, the pastor that was here
Yeah.
tonight. They have a school, that's where my grandkids go. That's where actually all 3 of my boys graduated from. They didn't go to Northwest High School, but 2 of them went to the middle school, and then my youngest one went straight there from Stokesdale.
Okay, gotcha.
And so my grandkids go, 3 of my grandkids go there now. But he, you know, there's a tuition, but they have like a scholarship type thing to help.
To help pay for that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's the one, what is it called? It's Guilford, something Guilford School that's over there off of Longdale, 220. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a big, like, Noble Academy. You have to pay for that.
Pay to go
There's,
there.
you know, different ones you do have to pay to, but the actual charter schools,
You don't
you
have to
don't.
pay. That's
You just have to try to
Get
get
in.
in the lottery to do it.
I know there were some boys that I went to school with at Charlotte that went to like Lake Norman. I want to say charter, but maybe it was another type of school. It was expensive for them to go there. And but if you play the sport, if you're really good at like lacrosse or something, they just about let you come for free because they wanted a good lacrosse team.
Yep.
They would dominate. I mean, they would just tear them down because they had the best of the best and it was free. And, you know, different rowing sports that we don't even have.
They got the lakes, so they can have the
Exactly,
rowing.
yeah. We barely have enough people to make a football team. Don't get hurt because there's nobody to replace you.
Now, the pastor's son, he's all about some sports now. When JP started there, he started first and Kevin came right behind him. And he started an 8-man tackle team, football team. Jimmy helped him coach. We would go all over the place to play. We were in Oak Ridge, Tennessee when Kevin, my middle son, broke his arm.
Oh my gosh.
Drove out, they were like, no, it's not broken. I was like, yeah, it's broken, I can tell. He can't rotate it. You know, he can do this, and he could do this, but he could not rotate it. I had to drive all the way home from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and then I let him get a little bit of sleep, and then we went the next morning and got it checked out.
I was in the wrong
But-
Oak Ridge.
Yeah. I was like, then we went to, somewhere right outside of Nashville. It was Knoxville, no, wait a minute. Somewhere near Nashville to play football. They go to Florida to play basketball in tournaments. I mean, he's all about, and he's legally blind. Not the pastor, but his son. But he doesn't drive, but he'll go all over the place for these kids to play sports. The only sport they don't have is soccer. Well, they have basketball, well, they don't do football now. Basketball, baseball, girls volleyball. And they used to have girls basketball. I don't know if they'll have girls basketball this year or not.
They get enough. Wow.
Yeah, they're all about it.
We're gonna do it
strategically.
I mean, Clay loves.
It's good.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Keeps them occupied.
That's right.
Kept my boys out of trouble.
That's right. Can't be in trouble.
Of course, I think their daddy kept them out of trouble. He didn't have to say much, but they knew.
He meant business.
Mm-hmm.
and I am one.
I'll never forget somebody one time. Had given Kevin a middle, or either JP. Kevin and JP both were involved in it. JP's the oldest one. He had given him, it was the boys' home that the church sponsored. It was Malachi Boys' Home. It was out off of 158. And one of those boys had some cigarettes. And somebody told on him or something, so they gave them to JP or Kevin or something, and they put him in the car because he was driving them. And it was like, you know, because they didn't smoke. And Kevin
But when
says,
I'm in a situation where.
you know, if Daddy finds out about this, he's gonna be mad. So Kevin told Jimmy exactly what was going on. And then the boy got, you know, called for the cigarettes, but he knew that if his daddy found those on him, that he was gonna be the one in trouble.
He wouldn't believe it after that.
To put it over.
Oh, no.
But I can't help,
It's a good school.
But,
They did well.
Now, I've seen that road many times. I just never went down that. I don't know.
You go that way also to go to, Humphreys Ridge? I think it is. Down Oak Level Church Road, yeah. It's right over, the school's right over the, Rockingham County line.
Oh, so it's in Rockingham County? Okay, gotcha.
And the, Randy Braswell you weren't here when Randy was
No,
here.
but I met him. He's on
Yep.
planning board.
Was it-
He,
used to be
he
mayor.
lives down Oak Level Church Road.
Oh,
Okay, gotcha.
He lives on Guilford County side, right there at the line.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, back way off.
I need to ride that way. I did, whenever I first started, still, if I was on a bike, I'd ride around and try to at least see the
places, Stokesdale, I don't even, still don't know about, I've been out here for 30-some years.
That's a lot. Took me, I don't know how long to realize that you go to the same place. If you come out of Andrew Purdue, turn on Athens, or you turn on 158, it goes to the same place. I didn't realize that. Every time I get to the end of Athens, I'm like, where am I at? And it wasn't until I went back down, I was like, well, there's Town Hall. I just thought, it just parallel. I never knew that.
But if you go back in there, there's all kinds of subdivisions.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
we went back there, I'm like, I didn't know all this was back here.
That's huge.
Used to be just old farmland.
What's really surprising is just going that way. If you go like where the mayor and Derek lived, and you just turn on, what was that, I don't know. Adano, turn on that gravel road, there's houses.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Jimmy went down there to see something about where the gravel ran out or something like that, where there was a big to-do about it. And I was like, I didn't even know these were back here.
Yeah, it's huge, and there's about to be 142 more back there. And one way in and one way out. And an unmarked road.
Also for this improvements up
Yeah.
here. And the school, I mean, it's gonna be that much worse.
Yeah, oh yeah, 142, you think
And it
they'll-
is, I mean, they get it going, and, cause I've had to help the car rider line in the morning time ever since the first day of school.
Oh, wow.
And, those parents will come around that thing. Mr. Stiles, the assistant principal, he's so funny. He was, you know, he's all about, all right, let's go, you know. But it's like sometimes those parents will come pulling up. It's like either if Mr. Stiles is at the front of the line getting the kids out, or the PE teacher. I'm like, somebody's gonna hit y'all one day. It's like that close that they pull up to y'all. But now the students are helping with, the safety patrol, getting them in and out of the car. And it's like Mr. Stiles out there, he's like, don't step off that curb, do not, you know, you stay at this side of the curb. But it's like one day, one parent's gonna hit one of them poles, the gutter pole that holds the awning. I was like, they just, in too big of a hurry.
Come rolling on two wheels.
They start letting them out about a few minutes before 7, because they'll line up at the front door, and when the bell rings, they can go in. Once Mr. Stiles goes out there, they let them start coming in. And, when I go in at 6, I leave the house at 6:30 so I can beat the traffic getting out of my driveway. Number one, there's already cars that lined up out there waiting, you know, to be the first ones to let their kids out.
Do they line up in front of y'all's place?
No, they don't on 68, but they, you know,
Yeah.
just the circle first, you know, it's already at least halfway filled by the time I go in.
Getting there early.
What time do they actually start school?
I think the bell rings 7. No, wait a minute. I think 7:20, because I go pull some kids to the media center at 7:25. I start working with kids, so I think the tardy bell rings at 7:20. But there's still kids, you know, coming in. It's crazy, but it does get backed up. But they got that one section where they got the little cones. But it's like me, when I go in the morning, I go through the cones instead of having to go all the way down, because there's no cars. And when I leave, by the time I leave, a majority of, now that I can't leave till 2:30, majority of the traffic's gone by then. So I go back through the cones, you know, instead of going all the way down, because there's no cars. Jim's like, you shouldn't do that. These parents are gonna copy you and do what you're doing. I was like, parents aren't out here now.
Not that early. How many school buses are used over there?
I have no idea.
I wonder how many buses. Turpin had 2 buses for the whole school. Oh, yeah.
Well, a lot of those buses go to, because it's staggered now, where elementary starts this time early, then middle school, then high school. High school doesn't start till 9:30, 9:40 now.
Oh my gosh, because it's the
But they
same
get
bus
out at
drivers.
4:30, yeah, same bus drivers.
Same bus drivers go all the way.
And it used to be the middle school and high school were all on the same bus. And it could still be that way, I don't know if it is or not.
They don't get out of school till 4:30.
The high school,
The rationale was that teenagers like to sleep early.
Oh, well, I mean,
They
that's
function
the
better
environment.
later in the morning.
I went to work at 4 o'clock. That's terrible. I'd get out at, we get out at 3:20, I'd be at work by 4.
yeah, it's, what was, I was doing somebody's hair the other night, and it was like 6 o'clock, and they're like, that bus must be lost. It bust out at this time of night. I said, no, they're still letting people off. I said, It's, the bus isn't lost, they're letting
Be
people
dark
out.
after the time changes. Get home after dark. That's what we have to do sometimes. One of those kind of places.
Definitely has grown.
That's on them.
Bye-bye.
Huh? You're better?
If they recruit,
Okay.
both of them will have a quorum.
Oh, that's right.
Neither did you have something ready, but
Jim not here.
I wasn't in the mood.
I've got my deadline on Monday, and my husband, he said, "No, when are you gonna meet?" I said, "Well, yeah, just because I had to grab this because it was at my house." And I went in and I got ready to go out the door, and he said, "You gonna eat dinner?" I said, "I don't have time, it's 20 minutes to 7. What do you mean am I gonna eat dinner?" So
You could have ate right here.
he said that, he would make sure I ate when I got home, so.
You got cupcakes in there. Get you a
I
cupcake before you
know,
leave.
it's cupcakes.
Have you eat that bag of popcorn yet?
Let me tell you, we got home that night, that day, and my son and his girlfriend was there. And I had took that bag and laid it on the counter. And my son went to grab it, and my husband said, "Don't touch that bag of popcorn." My son was like, "Yes. Okay. What's wrong with the popcorn?" He said, "That is your mother's $23 bag of
Jeez
popcorn."
Louise. You get $23 popcorn.
The Boy Scouts
Oh.
were selling popcorn, and the little boy, and I had already told him, I couldn't say no.
$23 for a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, 6 ounces.
Yeah. I bought a box. I bought the box that has 12 bags
Did
in
you
it
pre-
for
did you pop?
$25.
Yes, she got 12 bags for $12.
Yeah, which is still
We ran into
expensive,
down at the
but
grocery store.
That's high dollar popcorn right
yeah,
there.
it is. It better be good.
Jeez Louise.
The kettle corn.
Oh, it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little sweetness to it.
But they had like 3 or 4. One of them was $28 a bag.
Jeez.
I don't remember which
I
one
don't
it
remember which
was.
one it was either. But see, the little boy got us when we were coming out of Lowe's, and he said, "Will you please buy some popcorn?" Just like you said. Sure. I was, my husband was. I said, "Sure." And my husband said, "How much is it?" He said, "I don't know, you'll have to ask them."
Bless you.
Adults, bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. So we went around, bless you again. So we went around the corner over there, and I saw the tag that said 23, but I was thinking maybe, because it just had 23 with a line.
Maybe it was a
It
mistake,
didn't have
is
a
what I
dollar sign
thought
or
too.
anything, and I thought, well, no, I thought maybe it was a number, maybe they were using item numbers or something maybe, to write down what they sold or whatever. And, I said, well, I want, excuse me, I said, I want some of that kettle corn. And I said, how much is that? He said, $23. I said, what did you just say? He did, he looked at me, he said, what did you just say? He said, $23, and I was like, and the little boy was standing right there, and I thought, oh, I gotta get it, I gotta do it. I couldn't say no.
Can't.
I said, son, you're gonna sell somebody else.
No, I couldn't do that.
Now you can say, well, I don't have any cash, because they'll take debit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I had to do,
they,
because I didn't
they
have
took
enough
my
cash
card.
on me.
You
Unless you go to the
one of those
DMV.
square
Yep.
things.
So we
Because
went
I'll
into
never
jail.
forget Brian, when the school would have fundraisers, he would sell the candy bars and whatnot, go around the gym, because Jimmy and I run the program. He'd go around the gym selling candy bars, and this one lady's like, they see Brian coming, they go to pull their money out, because they knew Brian would sell everything.
Yes.
And I see him out, somebody said, I don't have any money on me, he says, you can write a check. And he's
For a
like,
dollar.
second or third grade, you can write a check.
Yeah.
Well, see, when I went into my pocketbook, because I don't carry a lot of, well, most people don't carry a lot of cash, you know? And
Most
when I
people
went in
don't
there,
want cash anymore. They want to use a card.
$18 on me. And I said, oh, wow. And
And because I didn't want him to think I was lying.
Yeah.
And I said, I only have $18 on me. I said, do you have any cash, baby? He's like, no. He's lying. I know he's lying. He didn't want that. And I said, well, crap. I said, I wish you took cars. And they were like, we do.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay.
There's homeless
So we
people.
ran into Dale at Food Line. We had already been to Lowe's. We had to stop by Food Line. And my husband was ranting and raving about this bag of popcorn to the cashier already. Then we saw Dale, and I don't even know if he said, hey. He just walked up to her and started.
I said, I got mine too, but I got the box.
He said, yeah, she got the box. It's got 12 bags. $25.
Yeah, she's got
6
popular
ounce
stuff.
popcorn. I beat, yeah, I beat on it.
$12 worth?
Maybe.
That's
maybe,
right.
Yeah. But
One handful.
my son looked at me and he was like, Mom, did you really pay $23 for that popcorn? I said, yes, son.
For a
I said,
good
it was for the-
cause.
That's what I said.
That's
I
right.
said, it was
Boy
for the Cub
Scouts,
Scouts
what
or
better
whatever.
I always
fundraiser?
support the Girl Scouts.
Cookies,
I've always
yeah, that's right.
supported Boy Scouts, 'cause I was Girl Scout.
But they're $5 a box.
I know, it's cheap.
Not 23.
I know. And they were good. And now they sell
I
them.
bet you the Girl Scout cookies go up again this year, it's like
I
every
felt
year.
bet
like
they
they
do
would
too.
probably be, yeah.
And they shorten the package.
I bet
Yeah,
they'll be
yeah.
like $8 probably
The
this
cookies, I
year.
mean, are one bite now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Crazy.
yeah, but my
They're
son,
good.
he was like, I cannot believe you
Well,
paid
Pris was
$23.
talking about her granddaughter was selling like wrapping paper and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. And she said the cheapest thing on the whole thing was like $20.
For a fundraiser at school.
Yeah,
We used to sell cool stuff. We used to sell like jump ropes.
those
Jump ropes.
big,
Jump rope's cool.
Yeah. I thought they were.
Because they used to strangle kids.
Tie the hands up.
Hangman movie.
Yeah.
We'd sell
Tie the
jump
hands
ropes
up
and
the feet.
yo-yos and
Yo-yos, I can see.
we used to sell all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff at school. Chocolate bar.
those chocolate bars though, they used to
They're
be
small.
big.
I
Yeah.
have them in my office.
They're
One of my clients,
teeny-tiny.
their kids were selling, and I told her, I said, just bring me a box of it, because I do that.
Are they gonna report that as income?
No. I don't know, they don't have, but,
You're their accountant.
so I brought the, box, I just bought the whole box, I said, just bring the whole box and just put it in my office or whatever. And my employees, like, I went up there and there were dollars, and, because you know, you sell them for $1.
Yeah.
And I said, where did these dollars come from? And they were like, well, we grabbed, grab one here, grab one there. I said, guys, take your money back, for God's sakes. I just,
You had bought it.
yeah, and then, so I gave them their money back. I said, guys, I bought it, just have at it. I did it for the fundraising for the kids at the school or whatever. Cause I'm a sucker, obviously. I paid $23 for a bag of popcorn, meanwhile. I'm a sucker for stuff like that.
I'm right there with you.
Well, I'm selling some Cliff Bars out of my desk for a good cause. You like chocolate Cliff Bars?
I love this kid. I swear I love him. I
Maybe
talk
we
about
could sell
him all the
those.
time.
We could sell
Cupcakes.
those cupcakes that
I
are in
know
there.
we could.
He could have himself in.
I was telling her,
Cupcake and a cup of coffee.
me missing.
$5.
That's
Hey,
right,
we got it.
$5. I'll just park a truck outside. I was,
That's what you should do when they come and vote.
yeah,
Before they come in the door, you should let yourself and a cupcake.
so, well, I'm not gonna let you in unless you buy one, so.
And if you're gonna vote for the right one, you can have one.
Yeah, that's right. Who you voting for? Give me $5.
That was 10 for you.
I was telling her, me missing that page on the fee schedule probably got me septic tank duty for another week.
Probably.
But I haven't had to do it. Tim's been doing it. Tim comes up here and checks it. And he said it didn't even need to be turned on this week, the
Good.
pump. Because he said, are y'all using the bathroom? I said, every day. He said, well, the septic tank says otherwise. I said, well, good.
That's good.
Okay, peeps, I'm gonna head home.
Yeah.
However, I need you to know, my deadline's Monday.
Okay, do.
So I'm probably gonna be MIA between now and Monday,
Okay.
midnight. I get my hair done Tuesday morning, but I will be by here. You'll probably be gone. Are you leaving?
12.
I get my hair, I don't know.
Probably 8 o'clock.
I'll go ahead and send you my timesheet.
I will do time before I leave.
I'll go ahead and send it to you I remember, don't forget, tonight, because I won't be here tomorrow.
8:30. Okay, my hair appointment's at 8:30. I'm 10:30. Ooh, and I get my, wait a minute, I get my brows done at 10:45, so hold on.
Oh, from, what's her name?
Hannah, yeah, she did them last time. I need to get them, not my brows, my eyelashes. I don't even know the difference between my brows.
Same place.
I was gonna say, I thought Christy usually waxed your eyebrows.
Christy does my, well, I get those done too, but she does those while she's rinsing my hair, but anyway.
Taking minutes on this.
And I'm gonna come.
Tom's gonna have to.
I'm talking about this.
Huh?
Talking about this.
He's talking about this, me. I'm gonna check over the bills and make sure I'll need to pay Johnny Wilson.
Did y'all, I know Jimmy called this morning about that. Does it say on the bill that it's
Yeah, we
400?
wrote a big
Okay.
note on the bottom of it.
Per Jimmy. The old one. We hadn't paid him for the first one.
Yeah, we wrote a note on the bottom, it's just $400 per Jimmy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then Tom's bill's in there.
And my bill's in there
I'm
too.
gonna pay those. There's two of those, cause they ended up emailing those to me finally.
That's right,
I had
just
to
throw 'em
track
in there.
those down. Well, I get, did I copy you on that email? No, I copied
Deputy
the-
dog.
Derek. I copied, cause I had to send an email out to track down what the attorney bill was, cause I was like, I don't have it retained.
No.
So they emailed me and I guess copied everybody in it.
Yeah.
Because they've got, I told Derek to make it up to, if they're gonna. I have researched and researched, and I guess I need to look in my book. I think I can pay that through ACH.
You can pay what?
My attorney bill, the attorney bill through ACH. Because they gave me the information, and Derek told me I can do it as long as I can do it for statute. I'm pretty sure that I can. The health insurance is automatically tracked. We pay the retirement thing through ACH. We pay, we pay other things, why can't I pay the retirement? And I've looked through the statute 158 whatever that is, and I really can't, it's like no definite
Thing.
It doesn't say, yes, you can.
Can we ask Tom? Can I pay you this money through this? Say yes.
Well, Zoom, what is it?
Yeah, that's
Zoom, some of
automatic
those are automatic.
I know.
Figure out a way to do them as many as you can.
And we get our fees from the state through ACH. The state pays us through ACH.
Now, what is that? CCH? What's that?
The,
Automatic something? Talking about ADP?
no, that's where you get paid
Oh,
from.
I don't know what ACH is.
Wait a minute, and I'll tell you. Why'd you ask me that?
I can Google it.
Authorized,
Automated credit.
Why'd you just ask me that?
It's okay, I'm Googling.
Who? Was it
Automatic clearinghouse?
Yes, that is who it is with.
Oh.
It's through the automatic clearinghouse. That is correct.
Publishers clearinghouse?
I was
No,
gonna say.
it's not publishers.
I don't know if it's
The
public.
division of them.
No,
Yeah.
it's
I'd like
not
to go check.
publishers.
That's right, for the rest of my life.
It's the ACH, you know, because there's ACH, the bills they sent me was the ACH. And so I sent Derek a text, I'm here and wrote all those bills that day, emailed me those the next day. Because I'm leaving
But you know what?
Tuesday.
People who are really.
The mayor forgot to announce that. We need to get the mayor to announce that.
I serve.
I know.
Probably because he doesn't know.
We've got to remind him to say this.
No, I told, I actually told him to put you in there, because he said, are you on vacation? And I said, no, I'm getting ready to leave next week. Shh.
I think Derek said something.
Well, he said something to him.
He said, I don't think she wanted that announced.
That was funny, I mean, it's funny, but it wasn't funny, but my son was home, so that was a good thing. And my son will be home this time. So,
Yeah, I was sitting in the audience. I made a little note, said, don't tell the mayor when you go on vacation.
oh, that's right, that was before you started.
I wasn't working here yet. Oh, me.
Yeah, so,
So
okay.
what's in California, just going?
No, my husband's uncle lives in Palm Springs, and so we're going to Palm Springs. It's kind of also a business. They've put me over and everything, and I'm kind of mingling and learning and do a couple of things too. So it's not all pleasure. They're in their 80s, and so they will get this taken care of.
That's sleep.
We used to go pre-COVID. We used to go every other year.
Cause I thought you used to go out there, did you go to Lego Land or something out there? What was it you were
We
taking
went
your
to
son to?
SeaWorld or whatever it was. Well, we went to Disneyland
They don't get out
and
here before 10,
SeaWorld.
I'm being 40, more than
And
40
then
hours
the
this
zoo, the
week.
big
That's
zoo
not
out
good
there.
thing.
Now my sister
I can
lives in
finish up
Antioch
if you need.
now, Antioch, California.
They'll just
which is
probably,
right
what, they'll
outside
come
San
out and say
Francisco.
what they discuss, and that was it.
I'm not gonna get to see her.
Or whatever they decided on.
It's
Well,
9 hours
it
away.
depends. They
They're not,
don't
she
have
lives
to
northern
until they,
California.
if they're just negotiating a
And
deal.
his uncle lives southern
They won't say
California.
anything until.
And it's 9 hours, and she's got the new baby and the dogs, and she said they would have to kennel the dogs, and when my
Say,
niece,
well, house don't get to come do,
I know, but she said my niece is absolutely hating the car seat. Like she said, you put her in that car seat and she starts screaming until you get her out. She said, can you imagine me driving 9 hours with this child?
Told her.
Both of my granddaughters hated the car seat.
She said automatically just starts, as soon as you put her in the car seat.
Haley was worse than Savannah, the youngest one. The oldest one, I didn't go anywhere when I kept her every day. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't
My
worth
niece
the
has it.
hassle.
She still has a yucky coat.
She would fight you.
One of her friends come to visit her, my sister's friends come to visit her,
And was sick.
and she had been to Vegas at a conference before. She come to visit, and my sister is Nazi COVID, like I was as well. But she said, I guess I obviously let my guard get you for sure. But she is a mess. I don't know if I've shown, I think I showed you guys. This kid is a trip. She is a mess. But she, I don't think I've shown Karen that real sweet picture of it. Look at this one.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that not the sweetest thing you've ever seen?
That's so sweet. It's a doll.
Is she eating eggs?
Yes. And I sent, when they had COVID, I sent some, we did a FaceTime, and my sister, and Gwyneth was in my sister's lap, and she kept trying to reach for the remote control. And my sister kept saying, no, no. And she would just, she was already fussy because she didn't feel it. And she would start throwing a fit, and I said, Brandy, give her the remote, she's sick. She said, no, Kim, I'm not giving her the remote. I'm Mama, you're Auntie, there's a difference. And I said, give the child the remote. She's screaming, I said, she's not gonna do anything. She said, yes, she will. She starts mashing the buttons and the TV goes crazy and, you know. So when I sent them a little care gift, because they all had COVID, I found these little play remote controls that you push the buttons and they play songs or whatever, so I got 2 of them.
Oh.
And I sent them to my sister, and when I sent them, she said, this is hilarious. She said, first of all, how you found these remote controls, I have no idea how you did that. And I said, you would not let her have those remotes, and Ani saved the day. She said, you did. She sends me pictures. She's constantly playing with those remote controls. I said, no, sweet baby. Give her those remote controls. She said, I swear, I really miss living at home.
Aw.
And she said, but I'm telling you, this kid would be 10 times worse if I lived at home. I said, uh-huh.
Because you're so close by.
Look at her right there. Can't you tell her?
It's freezing in here.
Did we turn it up?
I don't know. I did.
We turned it up. Oh. I don't know what's on, but.
Oh, this was some outfits I sent her for her. Look at the little pile. How old is she? It just turned 6 months.
That's true too, yeah.
Let me find.
No.
I'm trying to find one. I get pictures every day and I absolutely love it. That was her half-year birthday, her little 2 tutu and her little half ear, and her little, look at the little hat, little birthday hat. And she's right. My sister sent me those, and I said, why do you have her in a cage? Why is she in a cage? She said, she's not in a cage. She's in a play area. I said, that looks like a cage to me. And she said, I said, get her out of that cage. And she said, Kim, she's working on, I can't. Okay, let me find this picture I want to show Karen. Oh, that was one of the little animals I got her. Oh, look at that animal.
What's the temperature in here? What is it?
67. So
No wonder it's so
I've
cold.
turned the heat on and turned it to 70. So we'll see if that helps. At least get some warm air put in here.
I sent her that cow and stuff back there too. My husband said, you're gonna have to take out a loan for all the money you keep sending, not money, all the money you keep
Gifts.
spending on them. That's when I got her that new little gift right there.
You tell them that you work and you can.
That's right. Spend it however you
He
want.
was joking, I know.
Christie always say, okay, that comment to me.
Number one.
And there's where she first started trying to crawl. But I wanted to show, let's see, this one was.
But there's this.
Did you hear what she said at first? Hold on, let me turn it up.
And I was thinking about that today, years ago.
She said, are you excited? She said, ah.
It'd be really good, and then it's like, yeah. So anyway.
I'm trying to find this one.
I was thinking about, well,
Chris watching?
I don't know if she still is or not. She was. Because she would tell me to put it on the podium.
I learned that years ago, it's redone.
When I was making those copies, she said, put it on podium. And I said, I'm in the back, somebody's talking. She said, yeah, can't tell who though. So how did he,
Even looking at it.
did he speak all right? Gosh, did he have good?
You'd like to say.
Okay, good.
Oh, yes.
Miss Johnson, is still with us. That's okay.
Third name.
She said they were getting ready
I
to
can get
leave.
the principal's name too.
She said that was
Oh, yeah, from the website or whatever. Oh, yeah.
right before it got.
And she was on the agenda, so.
Yes.
They were getting ready to leave and go out, and she wanted to get that
same
picture
thing.
sent to me.
Like he just,
And she
couldn't
said,
get the agenda.
I don't
Nah,
know.
he couldn't get it.
Tonight.
You gotta adopt the agenda. He misses that. It's okay.
And I put that
I said, well,
proclamation
dang.
before that.
Yeah.
She's
Because
right.
normally
I want them to move back home.
How long they been
ceremonial stuff is first.
First, yeah.
June.
But I'll remember next
When
time,
it was born in
we'll do the agenda
Agenda.
first and then that.
for one on the job?
My brother-in-law, my
He's
sister
new.
has a master's in law.
Huh?
She
He's new.
actually worked at Wake Forest.
I guess, he just didn't have it tonight, did he?
But anyway, he's an engineer, and he was offered an amazing job.
What will that do for us? And I was reminded of it.
But it's cost that much?
And it's been a few years since I did it, but the basic premises.
So you're
At the
right.
end of the day, no two people get into the same place, but it's not exactly the same. So if you're excellent dollars.
see you next week.
Next week, you'll see me Tuesday.
That's next week.
I'll be here Tuesday to run through everything.
Okay, signing checks, get Tim's stipend check. That Jimmy will need to sign.
That will be sir.
Priscilla, can you tell them to stop eating cupcakes and hurry up in there?
Can you post date it or whatever? I don't need the money, he holds checks.
Well, that's the questions on the exactly. That's where he get worked up.
Turn that heat up sweet hot, man.
Thank you. We should have done it an hour ago.
That is a concern that was raised by. Let's not discuss it. Don't leave yet.
I'll make a motion that we can reconvene in open session.
Second?
Mr. Foy?
Aye.
Mr. Landrith?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
I'm also aye. Before we get started, let me remind everyone, the annual Veterans Day service is Friday, November the 11th at Stokesdale Veterans Monument Site at Vulcan Quarry on Highway 158 at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Mike.
There is no planning board meeting.
Cancel.
October the 27th.
Make a motion, well,
Cancel comments?
Council comments is where we are. Mr. Foy?
I have no comment. Thank you to staff, members in attendance, and Stokesdale Elementary School for being here, and have a great week.
Mr. Landrith?
I don't have any comments.
Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank staff and the one citizen that we have in our audience that's bearing with us to the end of the meeting.
That's because you gotta take me home.
I wanted to express some frustration with the Guilford County Commissioners, Guilford County Schools, and mention that we would have some more discretionary funds for such things as a request from the Stokesdale Elementary School if we were receiving our sales tax distribution money. And so it seems that no matter how much money is sent to Guilford County and the Guilford County schools, it doesn't seem to cycle back out very fast to our northwest area schools, and that's a source of frustration for me and other people. I think the money should follow the student, and that's one of the reasons why I like the idea of school vouchers, and, I support charter schools. I support whatever works, instead of just a one-size-fits-all with schools. And I'll thank council members and staff for their patience with me, and the town attorney, and that's all.
I'd just like to thank the staff and our audience for sticking it out with us. We greatly appreciate it. We have a motion to adjourn.
You do?
Second.
Mr. Foy?
Aye. Is it raining?
It's raining.
Yeah.
Do what?
It just started.
Is it raining? Oh, Lord.
Mr. Wagner, will you be able to go get my vehicle and pull it up to the front? Mr. Landrith? Mr. Landrith?
What?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And I am also aye.
Not in a hurry now.